Good afternoon, wonderful people of the Issue We Talk, man. I am glad that y'all here with me on this Sunday evening. We got some things to discuss. We're gonna be talking about that Sean Wayne's and that Aries thing. We're gonna talk about Jay-Z, man. We all seen Jay-Z go out there and do that 4 minute freestyle. And then we have some other things that we're gonna go through. But man, I just want to tell y'all, thank y'all for being here and always focusing on us because we focus on you. And let's get into these topics. And as always, take care of yourself and others. Where's my co-host at NSB's? What's the
Hey,
deal? Hey, Lindsay, what's the deal? What's going down? How's your health? How's your wealth?
oh, everything is everything. How are you?
I'm all right. I mean, as y'all see, man, I don't know if y'all paying attention, but I've been wearing these skin tight fits because I've been on my workouts and I think I be looking good now. Like body kind of T, like clock it types. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm fucking. But like, nah, I know what I'm saying. I didn't came a long way, and I've been trying to show this shit off. I ain't even
Yeah.
supposed to. I used to be like, man, niggas shouldn't wear that shit. Now I'm like, oh, that's why niggas wear that shit. You feel
Yeah.
good about, you know what I'm saying, what you've been doing to your body.
Right. That's what's up, though.
I've been hitting it. I've been, you know what I'm saying? I left the store. Everybody was like, hey, big man, hey, big man. I'm like, you know what? Now I understand why women like compliments. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, nigga, big nigga. I'll knock you niggas the fuck out.
Right. That's what's up, though. Yeah. So, did you have a good holiday?
I really didn't do anything. I barbecued, of course, because that's just what people do. And I just stayed at home with my son, man. And I'm just be watching my son develop as a 2-year-old and like him trying to figure it out and him trying
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, already has these things in his head because he, you know what I'm saying, because he listens to things, so he knows how to like count and all this other stuff. Or I'd be super
Uh-huh.
amazed by. But then he'll pick up things that I say, which is crazy. Because I was talking to his mama and I said fucking and he was like fuck. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, no, sir. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, no, thank you. Yeah, keep that one.
You definitely gonna have to watch what you say around him.
Yeah, I said, man, I'm gonna have to turn into one of those people that don't even say the N word because he
Yeah.
eats all that up. He's a super sponge.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, he's at that age that you definitely gotta watch what he say. For sure.
I can't get you to say mama for nothing, but you would definitely be like, fuck. And I
Mm.
said, golly.
It's funny how that works because like my nephew, when he was 2, one time I picked him up and his mom was like, all right, watch out for him because he cussed. So I'm like, all right. And so he was playing in my mom's blinds and he had a truck in his hand and he dropped the truck and he was like, oh shit. And I died laughing. You weren't there. So yeah, I died laughing.
You got to learn not
That's
to
not
break in those
him. I'm not
moments.
talking about him. I was talking about Jalen. See, Ashley thought it was TJ that did that. No, TJ called me a bitch.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he called me a bitch. He told me, "Shut up, bitch."
No, he didn't.
I swear to God, he did that.
Damn.
Yes, in Walmart. Yep. And he knew he was wrong. I was shocked. And my mama was like, "Well, hit him." And he wouldn't say it no more. He didn't. You was like 2? Yeah, you were 2. He was like, "Shut up, bitch."
You know, two is a very dangerous age, man. And I'm realizing that now as a parent. Um, I really had to realize, like, you got to understand at 2 years old, they're starting to develop an imagination on
Mm.
top of like neural pathways still growing. They really have a God complex. You got to think they don't even have to speak to you. You'll know when they're hungry. You know when you got to change them because they just look at you. They give you a look, and you know. I know when he's sleepy. I know when he needs change. Because he just looks at me. So he don't need to say nothing at all, and so he feels like he runs the whole goddamn on world.
Yeah, yeah.
God complex. So when like it be this is how I knew I'm raising a problem. Is because I say Papito all the time, and he knows that's his name or that's his nickname. I'll be like Papito, and he'll look up at me, but he knows when he's doing something wrong. I say Karen, and his mother told him he does this, but I didn't peep it until the other day. So I'm calling his name, and I called his name 3 times, and he looked at me, and he kind of leaned his head, and he was like, Karen, 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 no. He just went to. I said, man, this dude think he runs the world.
That is funny. He's like, I already know. Let me get it on out for you.
Yeah, right, man. I know I'm in trouble. I'm about to just blast off. I'm about to
Right.
DF off. Like I said, man, this little guy right here, man.
That is hilarious.
If I just say Papito, he just look up like, hey, what's up? What's up?
Right.
But no, if I say Karen, he just like he know he in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That is funny to me. But yeah. Yeah, so are you ready to get into these topics?
Let's get into these topics.
All right. So, last night we had the Roots picnic and you know, a lot of people were there. One person in particular that was there was Brandy. She looked amazing. She looked like it was 1996 all over again, complete with the braids and the cross color outfit. But that's not why we're here. We're here
Is it the
because,
braids?
right. But yeah, we're here because Jay-Z lit the world on fire with his set, his much anticipated set. Um, he came out looking like Easy E. Like he was in Compton City G's video, like literally with the fro and the blue jean outfit. Um, I don't and the sunglasses. Like I don't know why he was channeling Easy E, but so much so that he has combed out his locks. So he's no more. He's no longer channeling Basquiat. He's channeling Easy E. Um, and he had the spirit of Easy E on him because he did a freestyle where he went after everybody that's been taking shots at him like he retired. He went after Dame Dash. He went after Drake. He went after Nicki Minaj. He even mentioned Jaguar Wright, and yeah. And so all of this, I have come to the conclusion is Questlove's fault. Questlove is the reason why Jay-Z knows Jaguar Wright and the reason why she is a domestic terrorist at this point, allegedly. But yeah.
I
So
mean, he kind of said that too. He kind of was like, why I still fuck with these niggas?
right, like why? And I don't blame him because you introduced me to that nutcase. So you're the reason why she's on the internet saying all kinds of bullshit. So yeah, this is all Questlove's fault. So first off, what are your thoughts about Jay-Z's appearance?
Well, my thoughts about this, to be quite honest, my thoughts about Jay-Z's appearance is, for you to be able to be in a lane at your age where you can kind of be eclectic with what you do. Is that the right word? Where like in any given Sunday you can just transcend who Jay-Z is and actually just embody someone else. And I think he's been doing that magically. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the whole Basquiat era was dope for me. So I'm looking forward to see what this Eazy-E era is gonna be about.
Yeah.
Because at one point we really have to understand that this is a 60, almost 60-year-old man
Right.
who was a billionaire that can do what he wants to do. So you can't do nothing but respect it. Like
Right.
you can say nothing to your grandpa when your grandpa start turning around and wearing True Religions. You bet not say nothing to Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Okay.
So I really because I like the way he's looking at life, and he's looking at life like I can portray it at any angle. And I really do respect that. Most people don't. Everybody's gonna have their opinion, but you're not Jay-Z. You're not Sean Carter. You don't wake up every day to know you're a billionaire, and you don't have the ability to turn around and tell your boss, I want to dress like RuPaul for the rest of the week. So you can probably shut up.
Yeah.
Just be quite honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too many people that can get away with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, but what is his angle at doing this? Like, was he really like trying to channel him? Or is he on some other shit? Or do he even realize that he channeled him? Like I mean I don't think that it's I don't think that it's by chance that he looked just like Eazy-E, but I don't know.
I mean, in the world of billionaires, I don't question what they do
Mm-hmm.
because I cannot ever be fascinated or have a fascination of what it is to be a billionaire, to wake up and realize like whatever I want to do, I'm able to do.
Yeah.
Um, that's an amazing gift, like to be quite honest. So I don't to be for me, in my opinion, I don't think that he intended to like be in the essence of Eazy-E, but he pulled it off very well. It was what he was trying to do and representing that he still got it. He just happened to just look like one of the pioneers so much that not only are they going to talk about Jay-Z, now they're going to talk about Eazy-E. Eazy-E stuff is going to go up. This is the power that Jay-Z has, which for me, I'm like, oh, that's hard. Everybody else is going to talk about it because everybody wants to age shame individuals. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen a lot of things where they're like, "Oh man, he's this and he's this and he's a grandfather age. He shouldn't be doing this. He could do whatever he want to do.
Yeah.
Who are we to change? I don't have a problem with Jay-Z looking like Easy at a concert. I have no problem with it. One, he didn't say a shabby bar. It'd be a thing if he went out there and was like whoopity whoop, skip, scop, scop, and tried to sound like a drill rapper. That's no. He went out there being Jay-Z, in Jay-Z's cadence, dressed like whatever he wanted to dress like, took his wicks out, and he had bars. And he had bar. He had a lot of bars that made a lot of people say, stop questioning if this dude is not the GOAT or not. Because he addressed people that people quote as unaddressable.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
not.
Some people are calling it a wig. Do you think that it's a wig?
I mean, if it is, so what? If it was, so what? Maybe it was. He did that for a performance. Maybe that was his. He is an artist at the end of the day. He's not just a rapper. He's an artist.
But it's funny that you're saying so what, but anybody else wearing a wig, we would have a problem.
You know why we would have a problem with him? It's
Why?
because they're trying to establish themselves as somebody. Jay-Z don't need to establish himself as nobody.
Mm,
If that makes sense.
but who would he be establishing? Like, I who would anybody else be establishing themselves as if they wore a wig?
So if you're say you are an artist and like you might got one or two hits, You at your like third, fourth year, you
Okay.
know, you ain't had a lot, and then you try to reinvent yourself and then put a wig on and do some extra because you're still trying to stay at a top as far as what people address you as. That you still want to be known as this artist. That is always going to be questioned because people are going to start questioning your character. Jay-Z has already established himself years ago as one of the pioneers, one of the GOATs. And so now when he does this is just an artist for him, especially being established,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look like I'm grabbing fans. I don't have to do this to grab fans. This is what I actually want to do. I'm not doing it because I want people to look at me. I'm doing it because at this moment, this is what I wanted to do for artistic purposes, especially when you come into the rap game. Like a lot of, case in point, a lot of people used to shit on the baby because the baby used to walk around in Pampers. Everybody act like I forgot. But you know what I'm saying? He walked around in Pampers. That's
Yeah.
because he was trying to establish.
He did that. He came on the stuff.
So, but Jay-Z don't have to do that. Jay-Z could just he can embody somebody that he wants to, and nobody's really everybody's gonna have their opinion. They're gonna say whatever they want to say, but ain't nobody really gonna question him because he already got accolades behind him already. If that clarifies what I mean.
That's like a model, the neighbor. She put her afro wig on.
Ashley said that's like Amara La Negra when she had her afro wig on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. If I've already established myself as one, I established myself as one of the dopest rappers y'all done heard. And then I established myself as a great businessman. And then I established myself as a beautiful entrepreneur. Like the things I put together, except title, I have my problem with title. But the things I put together have been amazing. Now, if I went through my Basquiat era, now I want to go through this. Who gonna say I can't?
Yeah.
Because I'm not searching for record sales. I'm already a billionaire. I'm not searching for nothing. I'm just finding me. I ain't got no problem with that, Jay-Z. Keep doing you. If you want to look like Terry Crews tomorrow, I ain't gonna say shit.
I mean, Ashley said he might have an identity crisis.
I don't think he has an identity crisis. I just think
I mean,
when you
that's a good
realize,
point though, because he's embodying other people, and
but
we're
when
just
you
like
realize,
walking around like it's okay.
okay, so I'll give you this and I'll raise you this. When you realize you are closer to 70 than 20, and you have a bunch of money to do whatever you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna start doing some things that the 20-year-old or the 30-year-old you would have never did because of reputation. You don't got no that now you don't care about a reputation. Now you just want to be you. So if it is an identity crisis, let me be me. Let me figure out who I am. And who are you to judge? And I'll still give you bars. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. I watched that 4-minute performance and I was like, oh, this is just old Jay-Z. Most people ain't gonna like it because every time, and I tell people this all the time, Jay-Z has been having bars that go over people's heads for about 12 years now. So you'll be like, it's corny, it's trash. And he been on that type of time. You're not gonna get it because that's where your mind frame ain't locked into that yet. Once your frequency get locked into that, you're gonna be like, oh, he said some real shit.
I mean, I'm not mad at the freestyle. I'm just saying, like the look. You know what I'm saying? Like it's. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing because he's taking on other people's aesthetic when his aesthetic was fine. So is it?
But was it his aesthetic? We got to think. Because I'm one of them. I ain't about to be that kind. I remember Jay-Z from Hawaiian Silky fame.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z has been able through the years, if you've been paying attention to him, he's been able to morph himself into certain things. So now that he is right here and is super established, if he wants to continue to morph himself, why do we got a problem with it?
I didn't say
I ain't saying we.
with it.
I'm not saying we. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just putting the question on the table, like, what is it that we're doing at this point? You know what I'm saying? With hip hop being so young, it's like the territories that we're going into with hip hop is uncharted territory. So they're kind of like filling it out as they go. We've never had like a billionaire that's in his 50s that, we knew him initially from rap.
Man.
So, and he still got it, and nobody's ever denied that he still had it. But it's just like,
why does he choose to look like someone else?
Yeah. Like, you're okay being you. Like, we've been okay since Reasonable Doubt with him wearing suits and stuff. Oh, wow. So what, like, this extra stuff that he's putting on, I'm confusion.
I'm confused.
I'm confusion.
I'm confused. I just really think that, like,
I don't know,
him being an artist.
Maybe we have to see if he's gonna continue this look.
I just think him as an artist, I don't even know if he's gonna continue that look. I just think him as an artist, it's just expressing itself in the artistry of everything. Music, fashion, art. And I think he's just expressing himself in that, and like us watching it. It's what, and I hate to say this, but I'm gonna just be 100. Us as viewers should watch it and really like it, just because this is somebody who, just to be quite honest, transcended what we would ever think somebody in the rap game would do. I get it. He's not the only billionaire out here, but he's definitely one of the only rappers, like legit rappers, who became a billionaire. He's the only one.
Yeah.
Like, you could talk about Dre, but Dre wasn't a rapper.
So in the pure definition of a rapper, yes, he was a rapper. Is a rapper. He raps.
I'm talking about rappity rap. So I'm saying, like, I just like the artistry. I'm like, okay, because we done seen other artists do a lot of things and self-expression about certain stuff, which kind of was questionable. And I get what people saying, he's identity crisis, or he doesn't know who he wants to be. He knows exactly who he is. He's Sean Carter, the multi-billionaire. So if he decides to wake up today and look like Eazy-E, fine. Tomorrow, if he comes out there looking like James Brown, what are we gonna say?
Yeah, what are we gonna? I mean, people are gonna, say. People are gonna find something to say. We always find something to say.
I always find something to say, and in my opinion, do your thing, young man, rumble.
Yeah. I mean, I'm partial to the aesthetic, so rest in peace to Eazy-E. But I'm like, okay, we see the Basquiat, and ain't nobody really say nothing about that. But now we're seeing Eazy-E, so it's like, okay, he's actually putting on, like, he's actually doing this. Like, this is a thing now.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
Listen, so he told y'all bars a long time ago, where this is what he's this is the type of time he's on. Like, we really just gotta pay attention to Jay-Z and Jay-Z is a person.
Yeah.
Jay-Z said, if I say a Biggs verse, I'm just bigging up my brother, bigging up my barrel,
Hmm.
big enough to do it. So
Yeah. But then
I'm
that's the
just,
crazy part about it, because like he'll say a big verse and that's what he's doing, but can't nobody else do it. What if that's what they were doing when they were saying somebody else's verse? Like Drake does that often.
that's Drake's claim to fame. That's his
Yeah.
apple pie in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, Jay-Z got a lot of sons out here, and it just seems like it's okay for Jay-Z to do it, but his sons can't do it.
I think his sons can do it. I think
But they always get criticized for doing that shit.
but they get the reason why they get criticized for doing it, and again, this is just my opinion. The reason why they get criticized for doing it is they try to fully embody it. I could look like Basquiat, but the things I'm talking about has nothing to do with Basquiat. I could
Right.
look like Eazy-E, but the things that I'm doing ain't Eazy-E critiquing. But
Mhm.
everybody else, when they do it, they try to take on a whole body and frame of it. And I
Mhm.
think that's the difference. A
I
lot of
I
times when
don't
people,
agree with that.
a
I
lot of times when people
agree.
take bars and they take verses from individuals, they try to embody that type of individual. We've
I
seen it for
don't.
years in hip hop. Because I always tell people, because everybody talk about how the 2010s rappers was trash, and I'm like, y'all
That's
gonna
not
say the
true.
2010 rappers was trash? Do y'all forget at one point in the 90s where everybody wanted to be Tupac?
Yeah.
Yeah, do y'all forget in the early 2000s? Everybody wanted to be Jay-Z, everybody wanted to be DMX. We even had, I mean, at one point we had a melting pot of DMX and Ja Rule. Niggas didn't know where to go. I remember these niggas that was going up.
Mhm.
Like man, like for me, that's the thing. It's like some of y'all do it. I ain't saying everybody, so let me not say that. But I'm saying sometimes people will take a bar or a cadence from somebody and try to run with it. Like everybody talk about how Joe Budden. I remember growing up, it was a lot of niggas trying to sound like Joe Budden. So y'all niggas need to stop with the nonsense about that nigga ain't got bars. I remember a lot of you niggas
I
was
don't
trying to sound like
understand how
Joe Budden
people
when he
can
came
say
out.
that. I don't understand how people can say that Joe Budden ain't got bars. Now, Joe
Yeah,
Budden has been certified like way, way long time ago.
that's what I'm like. I remember a
That's
lot of you niggas
weird.
try to sound like him. So we not about to do that.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. But I don't agree with the whole other rappers be trying to embody, because like if you look at the Drake example, Drake takes a lot from other rappers, but he's not necessarily embodying him. Like when he took from Rapping Forte, he wasn't trying to embody Rapping Forte. When he took from Soulja Boy, he wasn't trying to embody Soulja Boy. When he
But
took
see,
from Mac Dre, he wasn't trying to embody Mac Dre. Like I
Drake's
think
the exception to the norm because Drake is an actor. So Drake know how to turn it on and turn it off.
now, because he's an actor.
No, I'm just being 100. Like Drake knows how to like take this bar or do this and then run with this. And I know what I'm saying. And we're talking about Jay-Z, but I will just say this: Drake's the exception to the norm because Drake knew, like I said, that was his apple pie in the sky to take bars from certain individuals and then turn it into him. But we're also not gonna we're not gonna go over or we're not gonna like pass over that at one point he did try to be someone that he wasn't. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about now.
Mhm.
We're talking about I have no problem with Jay-Z getting on that stage embodying Eazy-E and giving you a 4-minute freestyle, which I
So let's
thought was super bars.
okay. So let's talk about the freestyle. So what are your thoughts about the freestyle?
I thought the freestyle was just setting the precedent. I think it was one of those things where he He still was letting people know that he's still Jay-Z. At the end of the day, man, I still am a person that will go in there and I will give you bar for bar on how I do bars. Right.
Was there a bar that stuck out to you?
The only bar that I really did, not that I really did like, but it really did stick out to me is he was getting when he was talking about Jaguar and like and you know you got the Roots in the background and he like legit was like, I don't even know why I'm still fucking with these niggas, because like you said earlier, I mean it was the honest to God truth, and I thought, I was like, oh, that nigga just at this point he spit.
Yeah.
Like at this point, like if a nigga that fucked him over for $1,000 walked past, he would have freestyled that nigga too.
Yeah. I just feel like he just, he's been quiet for a really long time, and he just had to get some shit off his chest. And why not? Why not do it at the Roots picnic? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like because of him being quiet and because of him not dropping any music and stuff like that and doing other things, that people thought that it was just like open season, that they could just come for him for whatever reason. Whether it's just or not, he let you know, I'm still not that one to play with.
Yeah, and it wasn't
Yeah,
one of that. It wasn't one of those things where, and I'm sorry to cut you off. Do apologize,
you
but it
did.
wasn't one of those things where this was supposed to be catchy or this was supposed to get everybody's attention. No, this was just addressing what it is to actually be who I am. Like Jay-Z he established himself as top tier when it comes to, if you want to talk about rappers or lyricists, I set a standard a long time ago.
Mhm.
And how dare y'all keep on thinking y'all can slide my name somewhere, like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm not gonna ever say something to you.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Um, yeah, he just pretty much let it be known, like, I'm still that dude, and I'm still gonna address you when need be. You know. I think what stuck out to me, of course, the Jaguar right bar, but also the 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 you need a bill to say my name. I thought that was hard.
That's
That
it.
was hard.
That's a bar.
Yeah, because that's a double entendre right there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I thought that was hard, and it took Twitter for me to catch a couple of them other ones because uh like it was something that apparently Drake has said, but Drake always throwing shots at him for whatever reason. But it took Twitter for me to catch that Drake had said something because I don't know what Drake said. I still don't know what Drake said, but yeah. And then he he had some lines for Kanye because Kanye had talked about the kid. So and then he had some lines for Nicki too. Uh, excuse me, because Nicki was coming at him hard at one point.
Yeah.
She came at him full throttle, and talking about Nicki's husband, talking about Nicki's kid, talking about Nicki's brother. To me, the kid, I mean not the kid, but the brother and the husband is low hanging fruit for me. I mean, and on top of that, that stuff they did, she didn't do it. She can't help who her brother is.
She can't.
She can help who she marries,
There you go.
but
There
she
you go.
can't help who her brother is.
There you go. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what I'm saying. Like because of the way that I think when it comes to those situations, I think very differently than most people, and so I can understand or I not necessarily understand, but I can see why she would take the stance that she would take with those situations. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like the brother is concerned, once it was proven that he did what he did, because he was like very sloppy with what he was doing. Once it was proven, then I would have, gave him my ass to kick. But if her brother, who she's known all these years, is Vietnamese, I can't talk. This hurts. But if he is Vietnamese, I cannot talk. I'm not gonna say that word because
Just
I
don't
can't
say the
talk.
word. Yeah, just
Right.
don't say the word.
But if he is extremely denying that allegation that was against him before it was proven, I can see why she would be like, I'm gonna stick beside my brother. They're lying. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna pay for your lawyers and all that. But once that DNA came back, once all that evidence got out there and stuff, and then we don't know if she still talks to him or not. You know what I'm saying? But prior to all that coming out, we didn't know when we knew that she was paying for lawyers, we knew that or whatever, but before all that stuff came out, I can understand why she would, be by her brother's side, at least to the point where she was paying for lawyers, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like I get that, you know. And then we don't know her stance. We don't know if they have any communications while he's in jail, if she's putting money on his books or anything like that. We don't know, because she don't talk about it, but people want to keep coming at her like she had a part in it. And it's like, why are y'all coming at her for something that somebody else did? You can't control who you are related to. You know
Well,
what I'm
this is the thing with a lot of people, and it's not everybody, but it's a lot of people. A lot of people um want to throw shade or want to talk about people so bad, and I can just only talk about Onika in this situation.
saying?
Um, they want to go so hard on Onika because they do the same thing as well. A lot of people that are really trying to make Onika feel bad is because they feel bad themselves, but because of the things that they've done or they have allowed
Hmm.
around them when it comes to those type of individuals.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
be quite 100, it's always those people, and I don't know per se, but I can guarantee you at least 80% of those people that really are like digging into her because of her brother and her husband also have hid someone who essayed somebody or was or had PDF foul behavior.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's possible. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, coming after her about her husband and her brother, that's low hanging fruit. Now, coming after her about her son, that's just so wrong.
Yeah,
That's,
that's diabolical.
yeah, yeah. But, um, like, and then we don't know if what they're saying about her son is true or not. And I would hate for her son to see that stuff online. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's foul. That makes it even more foul, I should say. But that's neither here nor there. Uh, but yeah, Jay-Z, lit the internet on fire last night, and a lot of people had a lot of things to say on Twitter about it and stuff like that. But I mean, I would be curious to see if he's going to continue this Easy aesthetic.
Hey, listen, Jay-Z, I applaud what you're doing. You know what I want you to do next? Just to be quite honest, because you let your hair down, my guy. What I want you to do is I want you to embody Coolio. Put them cool braids in and show up somewhere like a Nickelodeon event. Like
Lord have
I
mercy.
just want I like man because I don't understand what you're doing. I can't say that I understand what you're doing, but the artistic approach that I think in my mind that I think is going on, I mean, I want you to continue to do that because who gonna say no? Who gonna stop you? Who gonna say this is wrong? And we've already Beyonce can't stop it. And he goes on Beyonce's interwebs and does this. Continue to do it.
Yeah.
Continue to do you, my guy.
Yeah. 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 So it would be curious. I'll definitely be sitting here watching.
I'm telling
But
you, if he turned around and drops a freestyle, the Fantastic Voyage with
Lord,
those Julio braids, it's gonna be the best thing since sliced bread to me.
I cannot. I cannot. But yeah, so that's Jay-Z at the Roots picnic. So yeah, so next up is Aries Spears. So we know Aries Spears initially from Mad TV. He's a comedian that does a whole lot of impressions. Now his impressions absolutely are top tier. I'll give him that. But he's not that funny to me as a comedian, and he's a PDF file allegedly. You know, the stuff that we've seen from him is really weird. Him and Tiffany Haddish, they can go sit on an island by themselves because they're freaking weirdos. But yeah, so he's been in the news quite often lately because he tried to get more money out of Vlad TV for his interviews. And that was a whole thing because he saw that there was pretty much an opening to get more money because Bootsy and Vlad had came out publicly about Bootsy trying to get more money out of Vlad TV for his interviews. So Aries Spears, you know, went on to his podcast and talked about the situation and pretty much was saying that people in the comments was like, I only watch Vlad for your interviews, blah, blah, blah. So he thought that that was um, leverage to request for more money for his interviews. Well, Vlad has come out publicly to talk about the situation as well. And he said that, you know, he ran the numbers and he said, okay, I'll have a conversation with you. Um, to where when he did that, Aries was just like, we'll have the conversation at some point. And so Vlad was just like, you know what, fuck it. I don't care. And that pretty much ended their relationship, their business relationship, right? So people have come out, you know, talked about how he's rude and he's disrespectful to people and this that, and the third when they have interacted with Aries. A couple of people that have come out that have talked about this in particular is the Wayans brothers, Sean and Marlon. Um, they said that they worked with him at one point on a cartoon they had back in the day,
Yeah.
and he was not the best person to be around. And they've called him a couple of colorful words. So, um, yeah. So just simply put, the Wayans don't really care for Aries Spears. So what are your thoughts about the Wayans? Because Sean and Marlon are kind of on a press run
Yeah.
right now because the new scary movie is about to come out, which looks great, and I can't wait to see. But what are your thoughts about what they have said about Aries Spears?
Cool. My thoughts were simply this. Um, this is what happens when chickens come to roost. Um, for me, in my opinion, again, this is the opinions of Lily. This has nothing to do with the ish we talk. Has nothing to do with Lindsay. But when you align yourself with people that are not aligned with your people, and you talk about your people, then it's only right that God starts handing you the shit end of the stick. Aries, for the most part, you get shows, you book shows, you do whatever, but Vlad was one of those things that was maintaining and sustaining you.
Mm-hmm.
When you were on Vlad, you did not have to go against people that actually was putting money in your pocket at a time. And I won't say you went at them per se, but when you say things like, um, that you don't think that they deserve the money that they asked for, then how did you think you was gonna get the money that you asked for? It only makes sense. You told another black man, and I can't quote the words, but you basically said, "Do you deserve the money that you asked for?"
Mm-hmm.
And then you turned around and got denied the money you was asked for. So for me, this is happening for a reason, because you shouldn't have never did that. You shouldn't have never went against people that are your people in the first place. They gave you an opportunity. I'm one of these people. I stick on this. I don't care if you gave me $3 when I was in the 3rd grade. You know I got a level of respect for you that goes beyond anybody else. So if I hear you talking about these that person, I say, hey, unless you about to say it in front of them, don't say it in front of me. Because that's the type of person I am. It ain't got nothing to do with loyalty or anything. It has 100% to do with respect.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna get in there and say some things that would sound like disrespect to a person that I know gave me something that I didn't have in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And you did that, and this is what karma is doing to you. Now, we can say all of the other things that Aries Spears has been accused of, but I ain't saying that at all. I will say this. The black community has completely, as far as comedy is concerned, the black community has completely fucking blackballed you in the first place. And you went to, and again, this is Lily's opinion, and you went to a slave master and was getting and was working for the slave master, and then you turned around and asked for another nair, and that nigga said no. All right, and it's nothing you could do about it. And now it's being exposed. You talked about a man, you saying he's arrogant, and I'm talking about Sean Wayans. You said he was arrogant and he shouldn't have that type of mentality because he's not that good of a comedian. You said all that. You don't know what that man going through. You don't know why he wears shades when he goes out in public. Like, you don't know what he's doing. You don't know what's going on in his mental. And he's done far more to you, for me, in my opinion, to let you know that maybe his mental capacity for you type of individuals, I don't need to look you niggas in the face because I probably punch you niggas in the mouth because y'all ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion. But for you to do that, and that man being very quiet, and then when he had to speak on it, and he just point out, said you a bitch, and you ain't gonna do nothing with it. And again, I'm not saying Aries Spears is a bitch or he's soft. I'm just saying you not gonna do nothing with that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not about to run up on Sean at all, by far. I don't think so. And if you did, you're gonna put yourself in a world of hurt because you don't know what that man is capable of. I don't care how tough you think you are. You don't know what he's capable of. And man, this man, I'm pretty sure this man has made a lot of money at this point where it's gonna be somebody that comes out the corner that'll bust your head to the white meat real quick and real fast for trying to address something like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even like you did that. You opened your mouth, said something about this man. You shouldn't hate the rebuttal. If you hate the rebuttal and you get mad at what he said, you might as well just apologize then, because to keep it 100, The Wayans never needed you. You needed them.
Exactly.
Um, so why would you talk about a family that you know everybody knows this in Hollywood and just in life general? If you fuck with the Wayans, oh man, you damn near got a pipeline to millions.
Yeah.
Period. That's just what it is. Because they don't, when they family for real.
Yeah.
And when they fuck with you for real.
Yeah.
Now, other comedians will tell you that. I've seen comedians say, shit, they'll set up shit and they won't even show up. They doing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So how dare you cut off somebody like that? Like that, for me, I'm just like, that's your fault. And that's your fault for fucking with somebody who you know on the back end always shits on niggas in the first place. We can talk all this extra about Vlad, but let's just keep it 100 with about Vlad. Vlad will string you along because if you do anything to cross him, he's gonna try to blast you out. And it takes, and I love the black people on the show that they like check him on that shit. Like, nah, you tripping. This and this and this. It was I forget who it was, but it was one dude that told him like, nah, you should have gave Marlon that 40 grand because what you gonna do with clips and all that shit, you gonna make way more money then. But you didn't want to even do that because you have a slave mentality when it comes to certain things. People call you the feds, and I ain't gonna call you the feds because these niggas be telling on themselves. But what I'm saying is, you are somebody that likes to keep niggas in a certain pigeonhole so you can continue to prosper off niggas. That makes you a slave master to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be wrong, but I would have to have a conversation with you, and I would have to see the numbers to prove that I'm wrong. Other than that, I've seen you make your living off the back of black individuals, unknown and known. That's why a lot of people stop fucking with you.
Yeah. 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 And I definitely agree with those sentiments. Um Aries just he has this arrogance about him that is like, where is that coming from? Because you're not that dude. And you've never been that dude. Like you was one of the standouts on Mad TV, but Mad TV was damn near 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like you have not done anything that is noteworthy since then. Outside of a Vlad interview or two where you may say something that may get some traction. You know what I'm saying?
We'll tell you exactly what it is. It is when you as a person not only forget who you are, but um, you forget who actually you should be catering to. And when I say that, I'm not saying all black people should cater to black people. I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is when you start getting white dollars to the point that you forget your black audience, this is what happens to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're so miserable. Like you're failing at life. And it's coming out in your appearance. Like, let's just keep it one. It's definitely coming out in your appearance because the way you look in 2026 versus the way that you looked in 1996 is like two different people. So, and that's because of all the bullshit that you got going on as a person. Like you're a horrible person, and it's coming out of your pores. Like, I mean, like
And I
for
hate to laugh
real.
at that, but I will say this. And I've seen a couple of people say this. And I won't call him a horrible person because I don't know him personally. What I will say is there's a lot of people coming out with, you are that the whole PDF file that's already been out there. But then they also say you are very abusive when it comes to women.
I can see that.
And maybe that could be some maybe that karma is coming too. Now I don't know. This could be alleged because people that I don't these people aren't showing paperwork, so they're just allegedly saying this. But a lot of things are probably coming out with Aries because of the type of person that he or the type of things that he's saying about other people. And again, because I seen when he was trying to like say what he was saying about Sean Waynes. I seen the cover up, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, you still who are you to call somebody arrogant because they don't want to because they wear shades in a situation? That don't mean they're arrogant. You don't even know what's going on with. He might be going through mental issues himself.
Yeah.
The person that gave you a shot, you probably want to ask if they okay.
Yeah, it might be a physical reason.
Out, like in public, because now you've seen Sean still with the shades call you a bitch.
Yeah, but it might be a physical reason why he's wearing shades. Like you don't never really know why somebody is wearing shades. But what we do know is that you look like something's physically wrong with your ass, and you ain't trying to get that shit fixed. That's what we do know. So whether there's something wrong with Sean or not, we know by looking at you that something's wrong with you.
Well, for me, he definitely looks like he has a lot of inflammation in his face.
Yeah.
He has a lot of cortisol going through. He's probably stressed. Because he's probably not getting good sleep. Because he's constantly having to be on the road. He's probably stressed. It's a lot of things going on with you.
He looks like he breathes through his mouth. He looks like he probably wears sleep
he definitely probably has sleep apnea.
Yeah.
He definitely and I'm only saying that just because I know. He's probably definitely going through a situation where he has to get his weight in order. Because that's probably messing with him. It's a lot of things going on with you at the same time. Because these things are going on with you, you shouldn't worry about or have an opinion on somebody else unless it's in a comedic way, because you're a comedian, and that's just my opinion. Like that whole thing with Marlon and Sean, if he would have said it in comedy, I don't think it would have resonated to them like it did.
Yeah.
Like if he would have just said it at a stand-up and made a joke about it, I think they would have laughed it off and kept it moving.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think
if you sit down with a nigga and because when you sit down with somebody and talk about certain things, this is actually you in an interview saying to anybody who's listening, this is in your mind, you're telling how you feel about this person. So you saying Sean is arrogant and Marlon don't know what he's worth. That's what you say in the interviews.
Yeah.
They gonna take that personally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it personally.
Right. I mean, how can you not?
If you would have said it at a stand-up, it would have been laughed off. Right. It would have just been laughed off because it would have been a joke. And then we move on from there.
Yeah.
But now, and one thing you did is, like, not only do you already got Vlad cut off, they going on, the Marlins are going on, the Wayans are going on a press run. And one thing you got to understand about the Wayans is the Wayans, unbeknownst to everybody, on the underbelly of what Hollywood is, they're Hollywood's family.
Yeah. They're Hollywood royalty.
They're Hollywood, like, half of the cast are all Wayans siblings or children.
Right.
Like, do you know what type of alley-oop they about to give to the Wayans?
Right.
Man.
Right.
Aries, I think you really put your hand in something that you are really gonna regret in the future.
Right.
Because once that ball get to rolling with everybody and you try to start doing things, I think, and I ain't never gonna say they could stop your money because again, you cater to a certain cadence of people that are, you know what I'm saying, that they're probably not gonna stop that money. But if you ever thought that you were gonna go anywhere else, it's probably gonna stop it. Because I seen an interview where even Shorty Lowe was like, man, you ain't even funny for real.
Yeah. Right. He's very corny.
To his face.
Yeah. He's not like outside of the shit that he was doing on Mad TV, he's really not funny. And like I said, Mad TV was 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody checking for that shit, and it was short-lived. Ain't nobody checking for that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I feel like we've actually gave him too much time. So let's move on from Aries. Yeah.
All right. That was Aries. Listen, I hope you. I wish for the best. I'm not downplaying any person in comedy. I'm just not doing that because comedy is its own beast in itself. What I will say is everybody in the world needs to watch what they say when it comes to things because your chickens come to roost.
Yeah. True. I definitely agree with that. And you know what? Shout out to the Wayans because I will be front and center when Scary Movie. What is it? Scary Movie 7?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see that. I'm like, oh no, I'm definitely, man. Shout out, getting off of Aries. Man, listen, the Wayans got it. That Marlon and Sean got a nephew to look just like Keenan, and it's in the movie. I'm talking about look just like Keenan. I want to see this movie. I want to see all of the Wayans star quality because you know they produce. They produce good stock. Like I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe I'm just being biased because I'm one of those. I love Jehovah's Witnesses. I grew up Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witnesses come up with good stock. They grew up Jehovah's Witnesses. They're good stock, man. I just want to see it.
Yeah. Close the door.
We heard all that, TJ.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. It's on the interweb now. I'm glad you didn't say nothing crazy. I'm glad you didn't say bring extra baby oil because it would have been on the interweb.
All right. Yes, you're the man, huh? All right. So anyway, yeah. I didn't know they had a nephew that looked just like him. Is it Keenan's son?
No, it's one of their sister's kids.
Oh, okay.
And he had to go through everything. Like, so it wasn't one of them that they just put him in there. Like he had to audition like everybody else to even get the role.
Oh yeah. That's what's up.
And they made him shave his beard because Marlon know he looked like Keenan.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, take that beard off. And when you see him, he looks exactly like a young Keenan.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I really can't wait now to see it. But yeah. So yeah, that's Aries Spears. So yeah, let's move on from that fool. So Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is still catching backlash from this roast. Now I know last time that we talked about this roast, I was like an hour in, but I have watched the full roast now. You haven't? Yeah. I have watched the full roast now. And I mean it was a roast. Like, whatever. I'm not a big fan of roast. Yeah, it was like 3 hours long.
I love roast.
Do you?
I can't even
I'm
hold
not
you.
a big fan of roast because I just look at
roast.
it like there's no way I would sign up for this bullshit. Like you're not about to sit up here and crack on me for all these folks. And the way that it is now is not the way that it was back then because we know like the Rat Pack was doing it at the Friars Club. It was like people that was getting up there talking about him. It was like people that they actually knew. They were like actual friends. And then it was like a fundraiser thing. Now it's just like people that come up there and it's extremely produced. They it's no fundraiser, and they just do it to pretty much see who can say the worst vile shit. And it's like, it's not, it's to me, it's just, it's not funny. Like, some of that stuff is not funny. A lot of that shit that they were saying about Cheryl Underwood, a lot of that shit that they were saying about Cheryl Underwood or whatever, like, that shit is not funny to me. Like, her husband killed himself or unalived himself, and I get that it was like in the 90s, but there's people today that are dealing with that stuff, you know, that maybe they love watching roast and did not expect that something like that was going to be shown and had a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know. Like, stuff like that is very, very sensitive. And I didn't find that funny. She did get their ass though. I give her that. She did get their ass.
So on that, I will say she agreed to those jokes because
Yeah,
she's already went through her healing with that.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's fine.
and
But
she already for me, I think that she knew that like y'all are going to beat at a literal dead horse, and what I'm about to do is diabolical because what I was doing for my husband at one point was I was being a Christian comedian where I wasn't being me.
mm-hmm.
But y'all doing this, and I need this because I need to get back. I need to like and again, it's just in my opinion, I need to put my pussy in all you niggas' mouth right the fuck now, and I'm about to.
Yeah.
So
Now that part of her set was not funny to me, but I don't necessarily laugh at sexual jokes. Like, you got to be extremely clever for me to laugh at it. Other than that, I'm just like, all right, get to the next joke, because I don't find that shit funny either. But but like the racist shit, I find racist humor to be low hanging fruit. Like, of course, I'm black. We all know I'm black. Of course, this is something that you're quote unquote not supposed to say, but you're gonna say it anyway.
wait a minute. Time out. Flag on the play. Lindsay,
What?
you black?
When white people say racist jokes is low hanging fruit.
Lindsay, you're black?
I know, right?
Hey,
I took a test.
what?
I'm a C.
Get
I
the
got
fuck
a
out of
C
here.
on my test. C is
Get the
passing.
fuck out
But
of here.
yeah,
You could have never told me that.
I know, right?
I
Yeah,
would,
you could have fooled me. You could have fooled
man.
me. But hey, C is passing, so I'm passing for black.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is like, y'all come up with something other than because I'm black to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's low hanging fruit. And it wasn't funny. Like, a couple of things I was like, oh. But other than that, the shit wasn't funny. Yeah. So, one of the things that was just in extreme poor taste, wasn't funny, should not be talked about, is what we're about to talk about now. Tony Hinchcliffe's joke about George Floyd. His joke about George Floyd is not a joke that was something he hasn't done before. And so he did it on the show. Now, yes, the show was live. However, during the live taping of the show, for the replay, they took out 18 jokes. One of them they did not take out was the George Floyd joke. Yes, it was a Netflix production. It was at their convention for Netflix is a joke. And I think this was like the final day. This was like the finale, his roast. And you know, Heartbeat Productions, which is Kevin Hart's production company, they was a part of the production of this roast. So yeah, and they did not have a lot of rules to the roast. One rule that they did have, that they did say that they had that rule, was there was no talk, there was no jokes about Kevin's kids. He put that joke, I mean he put that line there, which I can respect. Um and I get that they talked about both his parents and both of his parents had passed on. But I don't find that funny either. Like, talking about some dead people it's just not okay to me. But yeah, the George Floyd joke, they got a lot of backlash for that, and they coming down on Kevin Hart for that. So Kevin Hart did an interview with the Breakfast Club where they talked to him about that. And he is pretty much like, why y'all coming at me about it when I'm not the one that said the joke? But it's like, it was your roast. And again, y'all took out 18 jokes. Y'all did not take out that George Floyd joke. The only thing that he said was that it was in bad taste, but he had a great set. I don't think he had a great set. I don't think he was one of the best people there. I don't find him funny either. So there's that. But then on top of that, the writer's room, who wrote a lot of those jokes that we heard in the roast, had not one black person in there. So you have a whole production company. You have put on several productions of black comics, and you didn't think that it would be appropriate to have one black writer in the writer's room? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. And we have all these racist jokes. You know what I'm saying? It was like they were just waiting for an opportunity to get these jokes off. Like, they have been writing them for years, but they were scared to say them or scared to give them to other people to say until they got the green light from Kevin Hart that it's okay, and they let the choppers fly. Like, it was ridiculous. It was utterly ridiculous to hear about all of this. And in the way that Kevin Hart was so flippant about it. And then to know that Kevin Hart was one of the celebrities that lent his likeness to the movement when George Floyd was assassinated. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you got in, you went to the memorial service, the fact that you got in with the family and stuff like that, the fact that he called, what's his face, the former basketball player that knew George Floyd, Jackson.
Yeah, Steven Jackson.
The fact that you knew enough to call him and have a conversation with him, but you are so flippant with the rest of us to have a problem, is beyond. Like, you contradicted yourself. Then you saying you don't want to apologize. You don't want to apologize. It's comedy. I get that it's comedy. I get that you don't want to get into this whole apology tour and all that type of stuff. But don't act like you ain't never done this. Because before, when you had that opportunity to host the Oscars, and then the shit came out about you being homophobic in a joke, and you didn't want to apologize to save your job, but then the next thing you know, you went on a whole press run of apologies. So you've done it before, but when it comes to us, you're pretty much giving us your ass to kiss, and that's not cool. Because what you are, before you were a man, before you were straight, before you were a comic, before we knew anything about you, before your parents knew anything about you, the only thing that they knew about you was that you were black. That was one thing that you can never deny, was that you was going to be black, regardless.
You black baby. That is true.
Right. From the moment of conception, you were going to be black. And the fact that you are giving the black people your ass to kiss on this subject is beyond. And it's not people being overly sensitive. It's just some things we just cannot allow. Like when Lil Wayne had that lyric about Emmett Till. That was beyond. That was beyond. Recently, when Summer from Baddies mentioned Emmett Till, that was beyond. That was beyond. We do not, there's certain things that we just cannot allow. And talking about George Floyd is just one of those things. It's just one of those things, man. And you have to give us our respect. You have to give us our respect in that regard. All that other shit, fine, whatever. Y'all can debate all that. But one thing that should not be debatable is that man literally, the world saw him pass away in such a disregard for human life. And you're okay with a joke being told about him on something that your name is attached to? How dare you? How dare you? What are your thoughts, Lily?
I mean, you have definitely if it was air in this room, you took the air completely out.
I mean, I can do that from time to time, you know? It happens.
And I'm not mad at you for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is, you, as far as a roast is concerned, you cannot tell the person who was trying to be funny, you cannot tell them what a joke is. So I get that. At the same time, you cannot be mad at the audience for not perceiving that joke as funny. When it comes to George Floyd, like, because we talked about, we've said this before, we talked about the roast. I don't care about, and I'm gonna be quite honest, I do not care about Kevin's mom and Kevin's dad being joked about, because Kevin is there to defend his mother and father.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I don't care about them talking about this that lady's husband who unalived herself, because she's there to defend her husband.
Fair as well.
You don't have nobody defending George Floyd, so there's no reason for that joke to be there.
He shouldn't even been brought up.
He shouldn't have never been brought up. But the whole thing in a nutshell is this: why are we overlooking that white people still try to make this a joke?
Yeah.
It is not a joke that a man had a knee on his neck long enough to send him back to the ancestors. How is that a joke to you? Like, everybody, like, I understand comedians. I get it. And I respect comedians, because comedy, again, it is its own beast, and you cannot sanction comedy. At the same time, you can sanction what a bigot is, and you can sanction what a racist is, and you can hide it in certain things, but it's still bigotry and racism. It just is what it is. And if we're not understanding that a person like Tony is giving you this underlying racism, and we're not addressing it, then we are part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this has gotten to a point where I didn't think the joke was funny. I thought he was doing too much, but I always think Tony's doing too much. Now, I always look side-eyed when a lot of black people align themselves around him because he don't like you for real.
Right.
You know, just keeping it 100, he don't like you for real. And he'll pat you behind jokes instead of just calling you the hard R.
Yeah.
At the same time, you don't like you. Even if you told me you like me, I don't believe you because of what you talk about.
Yeah.
Because my thing is this: you are able to take certain things. People talk about Tony all the time. They talk about his family. They talk about his upbringing, all that. But
Mm-hmm.
Tony is there to defend himself, so that's an equal playing field. It
Yeah.
is when you talk about somebody that can't defend themselves, it becomes a problem to me. So for me, because I'm one of those people, I'm petty Ruxpin when it comes to certain shit. I would see what gets under Tony's skin, and I would make a joke about it every time I was around him, just to see how he react. And once he jumped up and said that ain't funny, that's when I tell him George Floyd jokes ain't funny either.
But I don't even think Tony is that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that because he's such a low down, dirty individual, that he knows his day is coming. So I don't think that anything will get him to the point where he's gonna get up and be like, "That's not funny." You
Oh,
know,
he will. Oh, he will. Trust me. Excuse me. He will.
somebody gonna have to like really dig deep into his background to find out what that one thing is.
You don't even have to dig deep. I'm gonna tell you exactly. And I'm not an expert. I don't know anything per se, but I can tell you if you start talking about his bread and butter and how he makes money off of Republicans, and you start shitting on Republicans in his face, watch how quickly he say that's too much.
But I don't think he's gonna say that's too much because he's offended. He's gonna say that's too much because that's his money.
Because that's what you care about.
Yeah.
Again, when you tell me that's too much, it's too much for you to talk about George Floyd. So let's continue to talk about shit that you care about.
But I low-key don't
fun.
even think that he would. I low-key don't even think that he would say it's too much. What he would do is he would come back and crack on them even harder. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll still have the people that he sucks up to still have his back tenfold. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, they did come after him hard on that show. I'm not even gonna hold you. They did come after him hard because they called him everything but a child of God. But he came back. You know what I'm saying? And then he shot at George Floyd. And you know, those right wing MAGA racists absolutely love when you do shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
So this is what I'm saying. Because I ain't saying you got to do it on that level. Again, I am petty Ruxpin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start interrupting your money. I'm going to start bringing you around certain spots. I'm going to start putting you in places where I talk about the people that bread your butter. If that, know what I'm saying? If I'm clarifying what I'm saying, the people that are putting bread to your butter, I'm going to shit on them every time. And I'm going to wait till you get real uncomfortable. And then I'm going to tell you how uncomfortable you make people feel. Like like now you can't do nothing because he's in platforms where he's comfortable with and he's cool with.
Mm-hmm.
Start inviting him to places that he's not. And watch how uncomfortable he gets. One thing he's never going to do is deny the money. Bring him there, pay him, shit on the people that he gets that pays him as well, and continue to do that. Do that a lot. Always do that, and watch how quickly he says, "Oh, that's not right. That's not fair. That's uncomfortable." Okay, it's unfair for you to keep making George Floyd jokes. It's unfair for you to keep making George Floyd jokes. But we paid you already, so go up there and do your job, boy. Like you gotta, like you, because I'm not saying you teach him a lesson, but you gotta whoop his ass. And I ain't saying you whoop his ass physically, you whoop his ass mentally. Go up there, and I didn't shit on, and now watch you go up there, and you could be funny as hell, but watch you bomb because I've already made you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hollywood, bitch. I'm just saying this is what motherfuckers been doing for years.
Yeah.
Like we talk about roast all the time, and I'm not saying roast or bad, because I've been saying that. I said this is my job. If you think that Kevin Hart roast was bad and wrong, y'all never seen Richard Pryor's roast. They gonna bring up some stuff that is true, that you didn't think the world was supposed to know. Like Richard Pryor is one of the greatest comedians that ever lived.
Yeah.
In that roast, they called him the F word over 50 times and explained how he was screwing executives to get in the spots that he was supposed to be. I ain't saying all of that was true, but it was some truth in it.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that. I'm just saying, put somebody somewhere where you're going to pay them to be uncomfortable and keep paying them to be uncomfortable and watch it crack. Like right now, you're never going to see Tony Hinchcliffe crack because he's around places where he's comfortable. Start bringing him around them uncomfortable places and tell him to show up and show out, and watch him don't do it.
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm saying. I ain't, and like, cause it's no resolution of what happened in the Kevin Hart roast. It's no resolution to that. What's said is said. What's done is done. What you have to do is the person that did it, you have to make them feel exactly how you feel. That's why I say I'm petty. That's why when motherfuckers be like, turn your other cheek, what would God do? At this point, I ain't talking to God. I'm talking to myself. And what I'll do is I'll make you regret doing that, because either you're going to bomb, you're going to fumble over yourself, you're going to say you're uncomfortable, or you just flat out about to get your ass whooped somewhere. And I'm cool either way. But I paid you to be here, so get on stage, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, that is one way to do it.
Yeah, you ain't gotta all this old trying to make people understand how you feel. Nah, I've realized it ain't too many empathetic people in the world anymore. So he's not gonna be that kind. What you gotta do is make them fucked up. You gotta make them second guess who the fuck they really are. So once I make you second guess that, I ain't saying it's gonna change anything, but what you're gonna know not to do is never do a joke that is in poor taste around me or around my people.
Yeah.
You stick that to your kind. I don't care what you do over there. Just don't come over here thinking it's funny, because we gonna show up at every time. I'm talking about every time. We gonna make you feel like you not funny at all. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Like, even fuck Kevin. Not, and no disrespect when I say fuck Kevin, I'm saying fuck Kevin in this situation. He ain't got nothing to do with that. He's taking back shots. Pause when I say that, but he's taking back shots from that shit. You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell the joke, and I get what I get what he's trying to do, but at the same time, fuck Kevin on a level of, if you took a Milani joke out of there, you should have took a George Floyd joke out of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should have totally said that shit's off limits. If we not gonna talk about this president, then we not gonna talk about somebody that set a precedent in the world that y'all don't like us.
Yeah.
Like, let's just do that. because he didn't do it, let's just go ahead and be super petty then. I'll listen. I tell myself all the time, it's a reason. It's probably a reason why I ain't had money. I done said this a lot in this podcast. Cause nigga, me with money, listen, I'm the realest nigga breathing. If everybody and their mama hold their breath, I promise you, I will find a way to disrespect the fuck out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And if I had money, I would do it 10 times fold.
Yeah. 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 I definitely would do that. Yeah, because money keeps people from not hearing your real thoughts about them. So yeah,
I'll be at that motherfucker. They told you be mad at me. Like, why you keep booking me for Atlanta? Like you gonna be right in the middle of it. Like I'm booking you at a strip club, nigga. Like
booking them at Magic City.
anytime. Keep saying that George Floyd joke, boy.
Right.
Keep saying. Yeah, that's funny, ain't it? It's funny. You had to run out that night? You had to run? No, they got to shoot. Damn, that's crazy. You know, right. You got the blue flames to ball.
Right.
No, you got that. I already paid them. You supposed to be there.
Right.
I don't want no refunds. I don't want no refunds. I just need you to show up. This is the type of shit
I go to Miami and go to live in King of Diamonds.
Yeah. This is the type of shit I'll be on when it comes to certain, because I want people to understand. I will never tell you you're going to change, but I want you to understand how you're making people feel.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
but
you can never change your ways, but what you're going to do is you're going to humble yourself real fast and real quick fucking with me.
Yeah. But I just think that he's at a point where he just don't give a fuck. Like, and the people that do book him don't give a fuck and love the fact that he don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But, you know, at the end of the day, fuck him.
Fuck him. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
but with us that are not fans, and with us that don't listen to his podcast, and with us that don't go to his sets or anything like that, he's not missing money that he had. He never had our money to begin with.
That is true.
So he don't give a damn. He don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't give a damn about anything that we got going on because that doesn't affect him financially. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying. See, this is where the petty comes in. See, like, if I had like Jay-Z money, Jay-Z got the same amount of money that Bruce Wayne has in the comics. So that means you buy out everybody and only make him do the shit that you want him to do.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's if you had a moral compass to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, but he doesn't. You know, he doesn't. But it's just, for me, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. Like, that's just what it is with him. Fuck him, you know. But as far as Kevin Hart is concerned, I'm not mad at Kevin Hart, but I am disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you before we started, he's gotten to the point where I feel like he feels that he's on his I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Like, yeah, like he's at that level, you know. And like I said earlier, before we knew anything about you, we knew you were gonna be black. You were gonna be black. You from inception. That's just what it is. And the fact that you can just be to this point where you just don't give a fuck about anything that we are saying, because that's pretty much how he came off in that interview when they talked about this topic with the Breakfast Club. Like, he just don't give a fuck about anything that we are saying in regards to that, you know. And the most he could agree to was the fact that the joke was in poor taste. That's the most you were gonna get out of him. And he's still trying to die on this hill that I didn't say the joke. I didn't say the joke. Okay. But if this production went off without a hitch and it was the best thing since sliced bread, you would have been going on a whole press victory lap. So you trying to say, oh, I didn't say it. Oh, it wasn't me. Why y'all coming at me for what he said? But you're the face of it. So it would have been on you if it was a great show. It would have been on you if it was the worst thing that we ever saw in our lives. Either way, it's going to be on you. So you can't pick and choose when you want to be the face of something, when you put your face out there for it. This is the roast of Kevin Hart. Heartbeat Productions was part of it. You're a A-list celebrity now to where you can make things move and shake. You can tell them who you want on this roast and who you don't want on this roast. You told them who you wanted and who you didn't want. You asked for this racist motherfucker. You out of your own mouth because of his performance on Tom Brady's. You asked for him. So you already know what type of time he was going to be on. And you thought that that was okay. In 2026, you think that shit is okay.
So can we just go and really just address what it really is? This was Kevin Hart's ascension to, in my opinion, quote unquote, not being the black comedian Kevin Hart to just being Kevin Hart. Because what I'm gathering from what you're saying is he is not defending what Tony said. What he's doing is saying he's beyond it. So for me, especially with the roast of Kevin Hart and what I found out about certain things that's going on, like a lot of people got X'd out of Heartbeat Productions. He has signed like a major brand deal now, where like basically like Hart Productions really don't mean anything. It's like a second fraction to actually what he is as a business. That this was his ascension to saying, hey, this is the movement I'm going to, and I would just be quite honest. I want more white dollars than I give a fuck about black.
Yeah.
Then we just say
I
at the end of the day,
definitely think that.
yeah, let's just put it out there. Let's just put the elephant in the room. Let's just go ahead and put that elephant in the room and to rest and just say, like, that's him basically telling you, hey man, white dollars make more sense, baby. Like that's just it just is what it is.
Right. But you know what's so wild, and we gonna go on ahead and end it. But you know what's so wild is that like some of the A-list comedians that are just A-list celebrities, period, what they haven't done is turn their backs on us. Because we have Eddie Murphy, who at one point was king of everything.
What you mean at one point? Like he's still there. He's still the king.
He's still 100. I'm not saying that as a negative thing, but I'm saying at one point because he's taking a step back. Like he's been chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At one point, you couldn't open your eyes without hearing or seeing Eddie Murphy. You know what I'm saying? But what he has never done is turned his back on us. You know what I'm saying?
No, because money never meant anything to Eddie. Like we're dealing with people, especially on our side, where we were basically taught that money meant more than actual structure or or moral compass. And he was never a part of that. A lot of our individuals, Denzel Washington was never a part of it. Morgan Freeman was never a part of that same shit. Yeah, money's crucial, but money's not everything. Samuel Jackson was never a part of that.
Right.
You know, even they used to give him flack about doing movies with Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino is probably the blackest white person you ever gonna meet. When he does this shit, is because he likes black exploitation movies. So this is why he makes the things that he makes. He's not doing it out of disrespect.
Like,
he's doing it as
that's a whole nother conversation.
It is, but I'm just saying, as far as what you said, like a lot of people, moral compass wasn't that.
Right.
Kevin's moral compass is money. He wants to make a certain amount of money, just like Oprah Winfrey. And in order to do that, you have to act like you're shaking black hands, but you're really shaking the white ones. This is what it is, and I'll stand on what I said. Like, and there's no downplay to them, or not saying that they don't have a level of respect that you need to have for them. But at the same time, you shook more white hands than you did black ones to be where you're at, and it just is what it is.
Yeah, and that I mean, to a certain point, it's just like, yeah, I get it, because unfortunately, we're still living in a world where we have a lot of firsts. So I get that to get to that certain point, it does get a little little minority in the room ish. You know what I'm saying? So it's just when you get to the point you can make changes, and you just like, fuck it, it's about money. It's disheartening, especially because we have watched him grow. We have watched him become this person, and has had his back through a lot. You know what I mean? And for him to turn into this person, it's a little disheartening. You know what I'm saying? It's a little disheartening. It's disappointing. It's disappointing, you know.
And I'll say a bar before we get up out of here talking about Kevin Hart. Money is not the root of all evil. It's the intention of the money in a man.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that intention will nullify that person's moral code.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. Sometimes it just will. You getting so much money, you forget that in order to get this money, somebody had to be fucked up over it, just to keep it quite 100.
Yeah.
Every time I clock in, I have to think about, it's people that want to be that want my position, they can't get that position because I do a stellar job at what I do.
Yeah.
And I have a moral compass that understands that. When you don't have that moral compass, that's when you decide to not give a fuck about certain things.
Right.
I don't. I'm never going to turn my back on anybody, just because I know it's somebody that want my slot. And if they were doing a phenomenal job, they could have it. But you're just not.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. I'm great at what I do, bitch.
Yeah.
And so when you know that, then you got certain people that just make they just get somewhere and they just think about the money instead of how good I am at doing what I'm doing. And when you forget that, that's when you allow certain things to happen to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. And we're gonna end it on that. So last but not least is something that has been bubbling for a while. And that's this Nature Boy situation. So if you were like living next door to me under a rock, you did not know who Nature Boy was, because I sure in the hell didn't until recently. Nature Boy is a guy who became social media famous about 10 years ago almost. Yeah. And he tried to portray himself to be living this type of natural lifestyle, and how he was going up against societal norms and whatnot. And a lot of people bought into it, and they traveled to where he was. And they traveled to where he was to live with him. They were living off the land, or at least that's what it was perceived, is that as though they were living off the land, and they were doing all kinds of natural things, getting back to the earth, and going up against society. Well, it turned into a cult. And with it turning into a cult, it was a lot of fuck shit going on. What amongst the cult. They was recruiting people. They were giving all of their money to the cult, which is basically giving all your money to Nature Boy. Nature Boy turned into a person that he started doing all kinds of vile things to the men and women that were following him. And they were literally following this man to the edge of the earth. This man could do no wrong. And he was just, coming off the cuff with the shit, right? He had a really big following online. And like I said, people was like, leaving what they knew all their life to travel to where he was. There is a YouTube page that did like a 42-part documentary about him. Tasha K has interviewed him, and she did a 14-part interview series with him and the members of his cult at that time. There is also a 3-part documentary on Hulu that I watched, and that's how I became familiar with him. Because I saw that Tasha K was going to have the interview a couple years ago, but I had absolutely no idea who she was talking to, what they were talking about, or anything like that. So I didn't didn't even try to watch, because it was on her. She released it on her website. So yeah, this documentary that I watched on Hulu, I haven't watched the one that's on YouTube. I watched the one that's on Hulu. This man was batshit crazy. And so were the people that were following him. They went to Costa Rica and was living in Costa Rica illegally, might I add. They ended up getting deported from Costa Rica and went back to the States. Then they ended up leaving the States and went to Mexico. Then ended up having to leave Mexico and had to come back to the States. Then the way that he had the cult set up was that like the men were supposed to get married off to women that were coming to the cult and whatnot. But then he ended up transcending it into all the women were for him and the men were for him, worked for him or whatever. So he ended up like, sleeping with all the women and stuff.
Well, yeah, because you could marry them. But they still gonna be mine.
Yeah. But they ended up just being his. It got to the point where they were just his. And the men were just there.
The men were the enforcers.
Yeah. But I'm saying like the men that they may have been with initially were just there at it, like they weren't with no women or nothing like that. They were just there doing whatever within the cult, but they had no wives because he had all the wives. Yeah, he was fighting some of the women and stuff. Then he was having them fight one another. Then he was raping them, and then he was doing revenge porn and posting some of the stuff online and what have you. Then there was a bunch of internet investigators that they were living and breathing to take Nature Boy and his cult down. And they got some traction, you know. They got a lot of traction. They were calling the cops on him, like got to the point where it was like every day. You know, saying what he's doing and what have you. The cops was going to the house every day, but they couldn't really do nothing when they got there because the people that were there were saying that they wanted to be there and that none of the stuff was going on. It wasn't until there was one lady in particular that when she left, he posted a corn tape of them two. And when he did that, somebody had to convince her to press charges. And so she did. And when she did that, that was pretty much what they needed to go on ahead and charge him with a crime. And they charged him with a few crimes, and they ended up convicting him. And so, from what I understand, he's supposed to spend the rest of his life in jail. Watching this documentary, it's fascinating to me how somebody can really manipulate one's mind to the point where they will just leave everything that they know behind and follow a person that they've never met.
It's fascinating to you?
It's very fascinating to me because I cannot grasp the mere thought of doing that blindly.
You can. You just don't understand the concept because you completely can though. You completely understand how that can happen.
I really don't.
Yeah, you do. You know why I know you do?
Wow.
Because you were indoctrinated into a society that taught you to believe in a father that you couldn't see.
I knew you was going the religious route.
So like, yeah, and I'm not downplaying religion when I say this, but this is what people like him dwell off. This is their bread and butter right there. That's what they do. If you can believe in Sky Daddy, then you could definitely believe in me. Because I'm right here. This is like this is why I don't think things are too far-fetched for me. It's when you do that, you realize you're dealing with a flawed individual, and those flaws are going to eventually start coming out. Like everything is peachy green at first, and then you start realizing the flaws coming out because this is an imperfect man. And being an imperfect man, you're going to do some imperfect things. So, like, I understand how this happens. Listen, we live in an area where IHOP is very real. The International House of Prayers
Yeah.
is the biggest cult I've ever seen in my life. And they do the same thing that Nature Boy does. They just cover it up very well.
Yeah, extremely well. Yeah.
I lived in the area with them, and I watched how they did, and I watched how they would have certain people stay, like they have the men stay here and the women stay here, but it'd be one preacher that stays there, and he fucking all of them. I've been privy to see this, so I understand it, and that's why I'd be like, oh, I get it now. Because if you can sanction yourself into believing something you can't see, you're gonna totally believe somebody that you can.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I hear you, and I understand the thought process of where you're going with your point, but I do feel like religion is different.
It's not. It's really not.
I mean, you're simplifying. You're simplifying it,
Because you're supposed to. You got to simplify things.
but I don't think I don't think it's the same. I don't.
How do you not think it's the same? Can I ask that question? Because you know, now when I say this, I am not on Nature Boy's side. But Lindsay knows I love to play the devil's advocate. So I'm asking you,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel like that's not the same?
I feel like it's not the same because I feel like as far as like religion is concerned, there has been people that have walked the earth that pretty much got us to believe in a higher power due to the things that were going on, and it's been proven, like these things, because like when you look at a cult, what is really going on that is comparable to what Jesus did and
So
what
let
was
me
going on with Jesus?
Okay. So let me ask you this.
Because I understand that when Jesus was walking the earth, that people was not really buying it. Like I get that, you know what I'm saying? But there was miracles that were happening, and there were miracles that were happening prior to Jesus coming on earth. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that you just can't really like explain to make math and science and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So this is why I'll ask you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go before Jesus. Um, how can you? And this is everybody that's listening, because I'm not saying religion is wrong, and I'm not saying spirituality is not real. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is what a con artist would do. Can you scientifically tell me that a burning bush can talk to someone?
No, you can't explain that scientifically.
Exactly, but you believe it.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on, listen, because it's written. At the same time, can you scientifically prove that one loaf and one fish can feed 40 people?
Well, it was what, 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread.
2 fish and 5 loaves. Can you prove that that fed 40 people? Scientifically?
Scientifically, no.
No.
But I wasn't there
Theoretically,
witnessing.
hold on,
There were people
because I
that were
do
there
that
to
and I
witness.
also do this. Theoretically,
Yeah.
can 2 fish and 5 loaves feed 40 people? Substantially.
Ashley said it depends on how small you cut it.
And I said substantially. I didn't say a cube here and a cube there. I said substantially.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
no.
Boom.
No.
Again, now, can can you scientifically, at the drop of a hat, turn water into wine? And when I say that, I say at a drop of a hat. That means it was water and now it's wine. Can you do that at the drop of a hat?
No.
No, it's a miracle, right?
Yes.
And everybody believes in miracles, right?
Yes.
So this is how people get caught up in cults. Because when you see someone thriving somewhere and your life is in shambles, to you, that's a miracle. And you will go there and you will follow whatever they're telling you to do if your life was more fucked up than what you believed or perceived theirs was. This is how cults start. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Cults do the same thing that the Bible did a long time ago, because they talk about things that nobody can agree or disagree to.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So that's what happens. Like,
I give you
case
that.
in point,
But then there were certain people that were in the documentary that it got to a point where they was just like, all right, now, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is too much.
exactly. I'm glad you said that,
Yeah.
because I've been saying this argument for a minute about that.
Mm-hmm.
When Moses freed his people, not all of them left with him to see salvation. A lot of them was like, man, you know what? This is too much. And they left and they went back to their same old shit.
Yeah.
This is that's what I'm saying. Don't that, I'm not saying cults or every that what you're supposed to follow. But what I'm saying is, at one point we have to realize cults are just as real as religious-based practices. Because what it does is it serves a purpose of putting somebody somewhere who they thought was purposeless.
Okay. So you're basing your argument on pretty much it has to be
hold on, time out. It's no argument.
well,
I just
I'm
like to
not
play
saying
devil's
like,
advocate. I just like to play it.
No,
Like,
not,
yeah, that shit's wrong as fuck. That nigga was fucking. He was fucking dudes and bitches. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you are in agreement with what he was doing. And I'm not saying argument as in we're arguing. I'm saying like your side of the debate or your side of the conversation.
My side of the conversation is, once you get in tune with certain things, when you decide to go coattail, you can't turn around and be like, oh, I knew something in me something in me said it was wrong. Something in you said it was wrong a long time ago, and you decided to take that path. So is Nature Boy the complete culprit, or is all y'all? Because that's my thing. He was having he had enforcers. He had niggas beating up bitches. They ain't in jail.
Yeah, none of them are in jail, and they was
Exactly.
with him all the way up until he got arrested, and then they testified against him.
But testifying against you means what? Because you testified that you was whooping bitches' ass.
Yeah, I think they got immunity, to be honest, because it just looked like they wanted the main person, and so they knew that other people was in there doing illegal shit because they were under this cult following, but they knew that if they got the head, everything else will fall. So they probably gave immunity to the people to testify. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
So this is my thing in a nutshell, and this is why religion is sanctioned out. Because it even says in the Bible, they killed Jesus, but they let his disciples live. You don't think they still gonna deal with some of those teachings?
Yeah, I mean,
you think all 12 of those disciples went out and practiced the same thing? They were doing their own thing. Paul used to be a murderer. When he went out there, you think he Like real, still was doing that same. He was following the practice, but he was like, "Shh, how I feel," because he's an imperfect man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do this. This is why it is different sanctions of religion now. We ain't even gonna talk about Catholicism because that's a whole nother thing. But as far as Christians are concerned, that's why it's so many sections, because that's what happens. You start
Yeah.
from somewhere, because I tell you, I can 100% know that Jesus and his 12 disciples, they were called a cult at first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Like I
they
get,
knocked off
I get
Jesus.
that.
Yeah, they knocked off Jesus, and those 12 disciples went out there and did their own teachings with their own imperfect thoughts. Do you think, like, when you go out the head, you also got to chip out at the body, because the body, you know what I'm saying? With a lot of things, we always want to talk about the snake, because they always say cut off the head of a snake. But if
Yeah.
you cut off any part of a worm, that becomes another worm.
Yeah.
So we got to understand what we're going, like what we're doing in this. Like, I'm not saying anything is wrong, or everything that Nature Boy did was 100% right. To me, everything he did was 100% wrong. But because you didn't persecute the body,
Mm-hmm.
that shit is still gonna be in existence.
Yeah.
They just gonna work in a certain different way.
So let me ask you this. What would be the quote unquote right way to have done that?
In my opinion, the right way to do that is, because of how he was running his cult, where the man or the upright, all those men get held accountable. Every last one of them.
Well, no, I'm not
And
talking about like, the ending of the cult, but to operate a cult. What is the quote unquote right way to operate a cult? What
what would be the right way to operate a cult?
yeah, like in
There's no
a societal norm is automatically cults are bad, right?
and that's what they say. That's what
That's
they
what
say.
they say, right?
But religion is a cult.
Well, we're not gonna go down that road.
No,
But
I mean, that's a fact though.
okay.
But we don't have to go
But
down that road.
yeah, we're not gonna go down that road. We'll be here another hour doing that.
Exactly.
So, but what I'm saying is that if you wake up one morning and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna go the Nature Boy route, I'm not gonna go the David Koresh route, I'm not gonna go the Jim Jones route, but I want to set up a cult and do it the right way. What do you feel is the right way of doing a cult?
Community. And that community has to govern itself. Not listening to just one person. It has to have a tribune, or like a Congress. Um, and everything has to be set through with everybody first. And then we have to go through a master plan. If you're going to do a quote unquote cult where you have all of these people that are communing with each other, then everybody needs to say so. Everybody needs an opinion. I'm not saying we're going to push your opinion, but we need to have your opinion, and we need to know if all of us agree or disagree to it. Because if it's some things that are not agreeable to, then we need to understand that this person cannot be a part of this communion.
You low-key are explaining a democracy.
I'm really not. I'm low-key explaining what a Republican is, or not Republican, but a Republic is. A Republic is everybody has a sanction to, you know what I'm saying, for themselves, and we all come together.
Okay.
That is, you know what I'm saying. That is exact. If you're gonna quote unquote do a cult, and don't, again, this is my opinion. This is Lily's opinion. Has nothing to do with we talk or Lindsay. If that's something that you're into, where you want to get people to be on your vibe, you have to find the people that's going to be on your vibe, and then you have to have counsel as well. And when you have those counsel, because that's what's going to stop you from being the person that you are, because you have to understand, once you get in a certain level, especially when it comes to status. I don't give a fuck who you are. When you reach a certain status, sometimes you stop forgetting or you start forgetting how everybody else feels. That's why counsel is needed.
Yeah, like checks and balances.
Exactly. So once you start doing that, where you can still continue to have that empathy over people, then that's when you can start doing things. I think a lot of people do things like, as far as the nature boy and other people that started cults, or they say they started quotes. The reason why these things didn't work out is because they didn't have a moral compass, because they didn't have a counsel. At the same time, we see people like, or we seen people like Dr. Sebi, who, quote unquote, if you think about it, he had a cult. He had a whole following of people, but he also had a council in Honduras, because it wasn't just him. And then when he died, everybody else spread the word, and they put their own salt and pepper on it. But at first, it was Dr. Sebi and his council, and all of his shit was proven right because he was doing it morally, and he had a council behind him. Like, this is like, if you're gonna do something like that, where you're gonna say, we're gonna stay away from the norm, and we're gonna start doing this. It has to be a we thing. It can't just be an I.
Yeah.
See how
And I think you're correct in that part, especially when you give the Dr. Sebi example, because Dr. Sebi, he studied something and mastered it, and it was proven to do the things that he wanted it to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like some of these people that are doing these cults are going to the extent that Dr. Sebi did.
Exactly, because they don't have a moral compass. They're only doing it for them. They're not doing it for the people.
Yeah, and I don't think that Dr. Sebi set out to do a cult.
No.
Yeah,
but
I think what his was like a cult following.
If you think about it, though, it's not, because if you think about it, Dr. Sebi just wanted people that believed in the things that he believed in.
Yeah.
Therefore, for the terms and purposes, he built the code. He just built the code that was a good code. I hate to say it like that, but that's the honest to God truth. Everybody say a cult following. No, he had a village, like a legit village. Like, people can tell you they grew up in the village. It's people now, it's influencers now that say they're vegetarians and they're on this path now because they went to the village that he created, and he still had a council there. But he wasn't doing it because of Dr. Sebi. I'm not doing it because this is what I think I want to do. I'm doing it because I think this is what the world needs, and the world's fucked up. That's the problem. That's the difference. We don't have nobody that starts anything that believes in the people. You got people that start shit that only believe in themselves. And that's the problem. That's why you have a nature boy. Like, that's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You got to have like-minded people to think like you, and you have to always reintervene and talk to the people that believe what you believe in, because that's how y'all prosper. Dr. Sebi was one of the greatest that did it. It's other people that do it now, that nobody talks about, because they don't get that traction. But it's a lot of people that's doing things that are quote unquote people call cults. But no, they're just cultivating what they deem is the right way to live.
So who do you think is now?
We got Yaki. Yaki's cool. We got a couple of other people. I would have to go. I would have to go through my phone, but it's a couple of, and it's not a lot. I can only name like 5 people that are actually doing it. But what they're not doing it's turning this shit into a sex cult, and I gotta fuck everybody. No, these people are actually out there trying to enlighten and heal.
So are these people that you're referencing, are they having people like leave their society and go to where they're at to be
If
with
they
them?
choose to, if you choose to, yes. I'm
Mhm.
not making you do it.
Well, yeah, nobody. I don't. Nature Boy didn't make nobody come.
No, when I say make you do it, I'm not saying like you got to come over here to feel the full experience. The people that I mentioned, or because I can mention some people. Like I said, I got to go on my phone because I really, you know what I'm saying. There's a couple of people that I do follow, but these individuals are not saying, oh, this is what you got to do. No, you can come over here and get this enlightenment, and then you can go on back on your life. Now, when you choose to go back on your life, that's what you choose to do. But if you want to continue to do this and be on this type of healing,
Mm-hmm.
then we over here. We cool. We fine.
Okay.
We fine doing our own thing over here because we don't need everybody. We just need like-minded individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want to call, especially when it comes to black people. Like because Jim Jones wasn't black, but Jim Jones had a lot of black people following him, so they called it
Yeah.
a cult. It's funny when it's a lot of black people. Sometimes they end up calling it a cult. And what it really is just a following. And it's so funny that when people say that because people act like militias aren't cults either.
Well, they do. They is it a lot of black people at IHOP?
It's a couple of
Um,
it's a couple of black people at IHOP. Matter of
but
fact, I ain't even gonna say a couple. It's a
it
from
is a good
where
amount.
I was at, it was a substantial amount of black people that was in IHOP.
Yeah, Ashley said it's a good amount too.
Yeah, I was about to say
Um,
I ain't about to be that kind.
yeah.
The area I
What
live
about
in, it was a lot of.
David Koresh? I don't remember it being no black people there. Yeah, yeah. Ashley said it was all white with David Koresh. But what about shit? I just had it in my head. Um, oh, Scientology. I know it's black people in Scientology, but is it a lot of black people in Scientology?
But is Scientology a cult?
They call it a cult.
No, that's a religion. So
Yeah.
again, I say religion is a cult. And cults don't have no boundaries when it comes to color. But because they call Scientology a religion, you can't even go to, even though they do extremes,
Mm-hmm.
you can't call it a cult because they call it a religion. It's a religion based thing. They literally get sanctions from the government to do what they do.
I think we're playing with semantics when it comes to Scientology.
We ain't playing with nothing. Me and
Yeah.
you ain't playing with nothing. It's what
No.
they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. But that one I would definitely put that under cult. Like I get the whole technically it's a religion aspect, but I for all intents and purposes that's a cult.
Well, because of tax purposes, because of America, because they don't get taxed because of religious ventures, they're a religion.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I
So,
mean I get what you're saying.
yeah,
Technically speaking, sure, but no.
yeah, you just gotta call it is what it is.
Yeah.
They call Jehovah's Witnesses a cult. Because I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, I could tell you it's not a cult. I could tell you exactly what it is, but because of religious purposes and taxes purposes, they're a religion. But you're gonna say, or some people are gonna say, "Oh no, that's a cult."
Yeah.
But a cult don't move over past 15 countries. That's a religion. That's a religion now. But they still say it's a cult. So yeah, we
Yeah.
can dibble and dab all day, and I'm one of them niggas. I give you a jab. Bye, bye. I grew up a weird life. Now my mother's Jehovah's Witness. My uncle that taught me a lot of things. He's a Muslim. We can talk. We can go through every ins and outs of it. Or excuse me, let me take that lie back. He's not a practicing Muslim, but he grew up as a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we can go through these things. But my whole thing when we do this cult culture or this cult debate when it comes to things, for me, religion always has to be on there. But then I always have to have an asterisk because everybody acts like religion ain't the same thing. You know what I'm saying? To me, it is. And the whole thing that changes it is the moral compass. Because some people that start certain things don't have a moral compass, and they don't have a council or a party that is actually agreeing to the things that are being put in this cult or this religion. And when you do that, and when you just only go off of one imperfect person, then yes, you're gonna have a downfall of a bunch of things. And that was the downfall of Nature Boy. Nature Boy became a narcissist, and because he had so many people following him, he developed a God complex.
Yeah. It went left. It was definitely a turn for sure.
And a lot of these cults do that.
Yeah.
You only have, or you got one man that's leading you, and this man is flawed, and this man has the pressure of everybody around him, but
Mm-hmm.
these people are following him. So all of a sudden, he believes that he's the end all be all to everything, and shit gets haywire when that happens.
Yeah.
Because that nigga is gonna start saying some weird shit to y'all.
Yeah.
He's gonna walk in and be like, "Man, I just want all the bitches to have their titties out next time I come in the room." And you're like, "What? That's the law, nigga. I said it. It's no council to say you can't say it."
Yeah. Yeah. And they gonna do it.
And they gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they gonna say, "Well, I felt it was wrong, but I'm just gonna follow." Like,
yeah, they say that years later in the documentary. So.
yeah, like no, y'all was going, y'all would have did everything that man told y'all to do, and y'all know it.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is. Y'all know, and y'all knew when y'all went for it. That's what y'all wanted to do. Don't turn around and be like, "Oh man, it's something in me. I just knew it was wrong." Because I'm gonna tell you something, and because I love people, but I understand everybody has that gut feeling to say, "Hey man, this ain't right." And when you don't go into that gut feeling and you don't do what that gut feeling says, because you got two brains. You got the brain here, you got the brain here. If nobody told you that, that's the honest to God truth. You got two brains.
Mm-hmm.
When that gut feeling say, "Hey man, this shit ain't right," and you don't listen to this gut, everything that happens to you happened to you. And that's not the world's fault. That's your fault.
Yeah.
That's your fault. And I ain't saying it for everyone. I'm just saying for people that follow shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's just I don't know. I can't see myself because maybe it's because it's me, but I'm just by nature, no pun intended, a person that has to ask a lot of questions before I do shit. And when you're in something like a cult, you can't really ask questions. You just kind of got to go along with the program.
Oh, but you can. And that's the thing. Oh, but you can ask questions. The problem about that is when you ask those questions and they give you an answer. That's what fucks people up most of the time, because everybody be like, "I don't want to be in a situation where I can't ask no questions. I can't do this and I can't do that." Everybody that joined certain things asked questions first. They gave them answers that they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Then they just went blindly to it.
Right. But
you got to.
like going off of your example, if somebody were to walk in the room and be like, okay, the next time I walk in the room, all the women gotta have their titties out. If I'm one of those women that he's referring to, I'm going to ask why. And it has to make sense in my head for me to go along with it. That's how I've always been. I have to it has to make sense in my head. I have to understand what's going on for me to go along with it. Once you get me to understand and it makes sense, I'm like, all right.
You gonna have your titties out.
But it has
have
to
your
make
titties
sense.
out.
It has to make sense. Something like that is not gonna make sense. Why do I need to have my titties out when you walk in the room?
It's all on.
That's why I wouldn't be perfect.
Somebody
like, they gonna be
again.
like,
It's all on how they phrase it.
First place plane ticket first, like on the first thing smoking. She gotta go.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and you're 100% right about that. But at the same time, because I'll raise you this, because I'm just gonna play that role today.
Yeah.
And it's no, please, and I'm like, but Jesus, forgive me for when I say this. At one point, Jesus had a thing where, every time he went to certain spots, you had to have your feet out because that man wanted to clean your feet.
Yeah.
And his explanation to that, I don't know his explanation, but his explanation for that was so convincing that a lot of people that when he came through, they took them goddamn shoes off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and I'm saying it's all about the answer.
Yeah, yeah. And he did an explanation for it. It was about serving and hubbling, and all that kind of stuff. Which I'm just like, oh, so you want to wash my feet? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because, like we were saying, he did have a following. So when he went to places, people catered to him. And he went on that type of time. That's why he was like, I want to cater to you.
So what if somebody was like, hey, man, because these are the vessels. These are what feed the children. This is what's going on. So I need
child
to out because I'm a clean these titties.
No, if you're talking about feeding kids, what kid am I feeding?
You're gonna feed the community's kids because that's.
I'm not lactating. Why? How can I do that if I'm not lactating?
If you're around one or two women that are lactating, that is true.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true.
So, so if he said that, like,
I'm not lactating, and you're not showing me a kid to feed, there's no point in me having my titties out when you walk in the room.
What if he was? That's what I'm saying. What if he? It's all in the context clues. What if he? I ain't saying Nature Boy was doing this, but I'm saying,
this is an example. This is what it is. About him specifically.
Yeah, if they was like, hey, shit, hey man, have Lindsay over there with them 3 women over there that are pregnant and lactating, have her spend all her days around there because she's gonna start lactating as well. And so now every time I see you, Lindsay, I need you to have your titties out because I need to clean those breasts because those breasts are for those babies.
But why are you cleaning them? Why can't I clean them? And why do they need to be out when you walk in the room? Are you going to be cleaning them every time you walk in the room? So every time that I'm in the living room and you come from the kitchen to the living room, I got to pull them out so you can clean them? That don't even make sense because you're going to be going into the kitchen, getting knives and forks, and we ain't even eating just so you can walk back into the living room and clean my titties. That don't make sense.
So with that argument, I will tell you this.
That's why I'm getting my first.
With people saying the same thing. Do you think you had the same conversation with people? Was like, man, why every time this nigga come around, I got to take my fucking shoes off?
No, because he made a compelling point. And it wasn't every time he walked in the room. It was every time he came over to your home. So it wasn't like, oh, when I go to the bathroom and come back, you better have your shoes out. No, because that sounds like a fetish.
But that's not what you're saying. Or that's not what he's saying. Or this imaginary person. This imaginary person saying, hey, man, every time, boom, I'm over here. I want to clean the breasts of the women that are lactating because I want to make sure the babies' titties are clean, or excuse me, the nipples are clean so the babies can suckle.
But why are you cleaning them?
Why was Jesus cleaning them?
Well, Jesus, like I said, made a compelling point that he wanted to serve.
Again, because you keep on saying Jesus made a compelling point. If he made a compelling point, would you not pull your titties out every time?
There's no compelling point where every time he walking into the room that I need to have my titties out. That's what I'm saying. And then on top of that, you have to think about the time that Jesus was in. The time that Jesus was in, everybody walked everywhere and they were like in the desert. So that was a thing when you went up to somebody's house, that was a common thing that your feet will be washed, whether you did them or somebody else did them. That was a common thing to wash your feet because it was disrespectful to go into somebody's house with dirty feet back then. So it makes more sense that he's like, okay, I'm going to serve people. So that's one of the things that I'm going to do because y'all put me on a pedestal that I don't want to be on. So I am going to serve people by washing their feet. That, like, we have, if we're talking about Jesus and washing feet, we have to put it in full context.
We do. And I'm glad you made that argument. I'm glad you made that argument.
There's no time in history where when a man walks in a room, every bitch in the room gotta have their titties out. Like,
so I'm glad you made that argument because the argument is very true. Like that is everything you saying is very, very true. What I'm saying is, if he made it compelling, where, like I said, if he was like, I'm gonna sit you over here with these lactating women, I'm gonna sit you over here with these lactating women. I don't go in there often, because I let y'all do y'all thing and I let y'all commune with each other. But when I come through, I'm watching titties.
But why?
Titties because of this. I raised the argument of I want the suckle of the teat clean for our babies. And it was compelling to you. You would agree to it.
Doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense. You're saying it doesn't make any sense because you're living in what you live in now. I'm saying
that's why I would be on the first thing about it here because I'm asking too many questions.
Or not even a co-following. If you had a following where they isolated you outside of the world and put you in a place and they said, this is what we're going to do to commune. Every Wednesday, I come through and clean titties. 9 times out of 10, people are going to agree with it, especially if he's not being freaky Jason with it.
But that in itself is freaky Jason. You got to tell me why.
Freaky Jason to you.
But you got to tell me why.
But because I would raise your point where it's freaky Jason that someone will come through places and just clean random people's feet. That's a fetish too. Like, again, I understand what you're saying because we're talking about Jesus. So there's no slander against Jesus. But what I'm saying is, if a random person would have said the same thing, you'll be like, oh man, that's weird. But Jesus was a random person back then too to them.
Jesus wasn't a random person.
He was random to them.
No, he wasn't. No.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. You can talk that. You can say
random people in your home. His reputation preceded itself. So even if you never met him a day in your life, you already knew about him and about what he was doing and stuff like that. So when he came into your home, it wasn't a random person.
Okay, so hear this clearly. If my reputation precedes itself and I'm known as somebody who is trying to take people out of the matrix and kill them and do these things and bring them to God's glory. If I came to your spot because you knew this is what I was doing and you believed in me, you will pull your goddamn titties out and let me clean them. You said it. My reputation precedes itself.
pulling your titties out, I still will have to understand the point.
Because I'm cleaning the sepals for the baby.
Why do you
Our
got to do it?
baby.
Why do you got to do it?
Ask Jesus why he had to clean the feet.
We already know why he was cleaning feet, though.
And so you know why I'm doing it.
No.
I'm telling
I don't
you,
understand why you are doing it.
So,
I don't understand why you are doing it. I don't understand why I can't do it.
If I am saying that I'm a prophet,
every time you come into the room, they got to get examined.
My reputation precedes itself, right? So everybody knows I'm a prophet. So you're going to let a prophet do it because the prophet has been doing this. Jesus was the prophet.
Have been doing that way before I was born. But I have to understand, and it has to make sense in my head as to why. When we're talking about Jesus and cleaning feet, I understand. When it was explained, I understood the explanation and it made sense to me. A prophet going around the world cleaning titties, and then he come to my house and want to clean my titties. You got to make it make sense. I don't understand why you, of all people, need to clean my titties. I don't understand why I can't clean them myself. I don't understand why every time you come in the room, you got to examine to make sure that they're clean. Whether a baby is around or not. Like that.
Because that ain't what I said. I ain't said every time I come in the room.
You did say that. You did say that.
Yeah, I said that in the beginning as a joke. I'm saying don't put in the contrast of
now Jesus. You're serious.
No, because we gonna be real clear on this, because the reason why we gonna be real clear on this is for the simple fact of it was people that thought just like you about cleaning feet. It was people like, why he need to come in here and clean my feet? I just clean my. Who to say I can't clean my feet? Why? Because they didn't believe. When you believe, it's a whole nother perception.
Well, no, that wasn't it.
No, that's exactly what it is.
No, because the thing was with Jesus is that
Hold on, before you finish. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about the perception of what Jesus is compared to the situation with Nature Boy and the things that Nature Boy was doing. Had Nature Boy not went off morals and off code and off compass about what he was doing, it was certain things that he could have said being done and they would have believed it. Yeah. They would have believed it and they would perceive it because they believe in Nature Boy.
Yeah.
He had bitches beating up bitches. He had niggas beating up bitches.
Yeah.
He could have said that and they would have believed it. This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm breaking down the whole thing in a nutshell. Like you saying everybody questions certain things. I'm saying once you believe, it's a whole nother atmosphere.
Yeah, and I get that. But again, me being me, I grew up in the church. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't there like every day of the week. And I wasn't listening half the time. But there were certain things that I heard. I didn't listen. I didn't take it as law. I didn't take it like blindly. Even if I didn't vocally question it, I questioned it in my head. So I'm not coming from a place where religion is law and everything is 100% facts. And I believe 1000% what's going on over here, but everything else is wrong. I'm not coming from that place. I'm saying as far as me and the person that I am, I would be on the first thing smoking about that motherfucker because they don't want to hear me question shit because that's what I do.
Cool. I'm glad you said that. 100%.
Yeah.
Now, I will give you that and I will raise you this.
Okay.
A person that is lost in the world, that's trying to find their way, they don't know what's going on, and somebody is saying something to them that they think makes sense. And that these type of people are going to follow a person. So when that person starts saying certain things to them, they're going to start believing it. And the difference between, religion and quote unquote cults is you actually get to see this person up front and personal. The thing that ends up becoming morally wrong is that person ends up trying to invade your imperfect mind with their imperfect thoughts. And that becomes the problem. When you have an imperfect person that knows that they're imperfect and they need people behind them, that's when all of a sudden it doesn't become a cult anymore. It's a community. And that community goes by a certain way of living, period. That's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Okay.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Me playing devil's advocate that's what I'm looking at. Because I always tell people, like, again, how I grew up. I grew up a certain way. People look at me all the time and be like, you grew up in a cult. No, I didn't. There's certain things that I know and that I can talk about to this day because I grew up a certain way. So I know certain things are influencing you the wrong way, and certain things are pressing you the wrong way, and you're allowing certain things and certain vibrations into you that shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, that shouldn't be into you. Hell, myself, listen, I grew up knowing how to eat clean, knowing how to be a certain way, but I grew up with an alcoholic father, and I became a fucking alcoholic. Like it's like it's certain things that I know that when I say things out loud, I get a backlash from it because people be like, you don't live that way. And I'm like, nigga, I know. And that's why I don't want you living this way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's those things. It's like, it's all about your perception and what you believe. And when you do it on a moral side of it, that's not a cult anymore. That's a community. What Nature Boy had was a cult because he only had himself. And and that narcissist mentality fucks you over, and it makes you feel like you're God body because people are listening to you, but these people don't have their mind anymore.
Yeah.
These people no longer are thinking or acting for themselves because for them, you're the perception of what God is on earth. Because you brought them somewhere that they didn't think they would ever be. You got to think a lot of these people that went over there to live with him had to purchase a passport. They never had a passport before.
Yeah.
They had to purchase a passport to be over there. Of course, they thought everything that nigga was gonna say is God body law.
Well, just to even have the mentality to be like, I'm gonna go where he's at, and some of these places ain't never left their city limits, or some of these people have never left their city limits. You know what I'm saying? And for them to travel all the way to Costa Rica, because Costa Rica ain't no hop, skip, and a jump.
Because when you broken, and that's the thing, a lot of people that start cults the wrong way. A lot of people that starts a movement the wrong way, they focus on broken people. So you had a lot of broken people.
Yeah.
They would never admit to it, but I can guarantee you everybody that went over there when they were broken, they were probably shunned by their mother or their father's religion. They were probably shunned by a lot of friends because of how they thought or how they acted about certain things. They probably was shunned from the community because of how their sexual behavior was. A lot of these people were broken. And they went there because they felt like they can be them there.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. We not just gonna act like cults just snatch people up and kidnap them. No, you have to volunteer to get there.
At least. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
think
volunteer
they prey on people's vulnerability for sure. Because there's no way
these are broken
that with somebody that has like high self-esteem and got a lot going for themselves and stuff like that. There's no way that you can get them to join a cult.
This is why I'm saying people's moral compass is messed up. Again, I'll go back to Dr. Sebi. When Dr. Sebi was bringing people to his village in Honduras, he wasn't trying to fuck them. He was trying to save them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, that's the big difference. You got it. Your moral compass has to be there.
Yeah.
Your counsel has to be there. It has to be like-minded people that understands what you do and they help you cultivate. You can't cultivate by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was Nature Boy's problem.
Yeah.
Nature Boy was an imperfect person, or is an imperfect person, that developed a God complex because he didn't build or cultivate around him to make what he deemed was the new world sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Like, if you want to do that, because like I said, it's people to do that now, and they have and they have counsel, and they have people behind them, and they have it's not just them. They're the face, but it's not just them running it. It's a coalition of people that believe what I believe in, and we make this happen for everybody else. And if you want to get on that bandwagon, get on that bandwagon. With Nature Boy, it was a whole different thing, and that was the problem. Nature Boy was narcissistic individual that was doing things that he was just pulling out of his ass.
Yeah.
It's just one day everybody's supposed to be married, and then one day you like, hey, yeah, you can get married to her, but yeah, I'm only fucking her. Like, you can't fuck her. Like, this nigga was weird, but he lost his way. And I ain't even gonna say he lost his way. He probably was always that way. He just had enough people to just say yes to it.
I think he was just going, like, he didn't have no direction. He was just going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he was like making his shit up as he went and seeing how far he can go. Yeah. Cause like there was one thing that one of those guys said, that he just said one day he told them to drink his semen out of a cup.
Yeah.
And did it. That's disgusting.
Yeah, like I said, man, this
You
nigga
know
was.
and I just feel like he was just doing shit just to see how far he can go with it. Like, let me see if I can make them do this. You know what I'm saying?
No mortal words of Kanye West. No one man should have all that power.
Agreed. That's
Just
something
because
the
we're
realest
all imperfect.
Kanye has ever said.
Yeah. We're all imperfect. And that's the thing. That's the thing in a nutshell. Is because we know we're all imperfect individuals, we should never carry the burden of the world on our back. That's God's job. That's not yours.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're imperfect and you're gonna make some imperfect thoughts. And once you start having a God complex, that's when everything goes haywire. That's when like shit goes left real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would never be one of those people. Yeah, I'll be like, oh no, I need some help. I need some help because I might start telling these bitches to pull their titties out every Tuesday. I'm playing, but for real, like, no, you need counsel.
You're gonna be going to the kitchen for one napkin.
Man.
Just to come back in the living room.
Coming in there like, hey, yeah, it's feeding time. Like, no. Like, no.
So,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it was one of the takeaways I got from the Nature Boy thing that I was watching about it is, and I said it before, but I'll say it again. People need to start getting held accountable. I'm just not at the point where I would do immunity for a lot of them, especially when it comes to those men. And I know I might
hear what
sound
you're saying.
biased when I say this. You said what?
I hear what you're saying, but I feel like the reason why is, like we said, to take out the head. And a lot of those people wouldn't talk and incriminate, knowing that they will be incriminating themselves. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you do need that testimony, that first person testimony. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it'll be hearsay and it can be thrown out. You know, so I get 100% where you're going with the whole not trying to give everybody immunity.
Yeah, I'm not giving. I can't guarantee you gonna go to. My thing is, I ain't gonna guarantee you go to jail for a long time. Or I can guarantee you immunity for being a part of a cult and being a leader in a cult. What I'm not gonna give you immunity for is for beating up women. If you put your hands on a woman, uh, because another nigga told you to do it, let alone you decided to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that something needs to happen to you. Like, now, when I say this with the utmost respect, because at the same time, like, if that woman decided to fight you out of the clear blue, you got to defend yourself. But if you're doing it because it was sanctioned to do it, then I ain't about to.
Yeah, that's something totally different.
Yeah, I ain't got no. I don't have no leeway for you. If you let another man tell you to slap a woman, you going to jail, bro. Right.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion.
But then this is the thing, though, because of the fact that Nature Boy was out here sanctioning people to do shit, even though, like, there were certain points where he was putting his hands on people, too. But because he was sanctioning people to do shit, there's a lot of stuff that he didn't do, if we want to get down to the technical aspect of it. So if you go after the people that he sanctioned to do it and not the person that put off the hit, quote unquote, then he might not be in jail for the rest of his life. And he would do just a year or two and then get back at it, because he still got a following to this day, which is ridiculous. But nonetheless, you see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I'm still gonna hold him responsible for a lot of things, but the rest of y'all are accessories.
I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with you. However, sometimes it's best to get the person that ordered the hit and not the person that did it.
I got you, and I understand that completely. What I'm saying is, I'll give you immunity on certain things. What I'm not gonna give you immunity on is domestic violence.
But if you're not given full immunity, then I can't give you a full testimony.
That's cool. I'm already gonna throw this bitch ass nigga away anyway. And in my mind, it's like they already knew they was throwing him in jail anyway, and they were gonna give him whatever, because you already got the women testimony. The man was just a bonus. But when men start saying certain things, you got to hold these men accountable, because my thing, and I get it, I understand how immunity works and how that goes into play, but for me, at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving him immunity for everything. I just can't give him immunity for everything. Maybe he can luck out with probation if he's never had any priors, but I'm not giving him immunity for everything if he decides to talk. If he's not gonna talk, then fuck it. It's just it just is what it is, and I'll just have the feds wiretap the shit out of him to make sure he don't be a Nature Boy part 2. What I'm not gonna do is just allow you to come in this motherfucker and throw this man under the bus, knowing good and goddamn well you had all good sense and favor when you slapped the dog shit out that bitch and snuffed her ovaries in.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. But say, for instance, if they were to go that route and they were to prosecute some of these people that were under this cult leader, right? Excuse me. They're gonna have that argument that they were under a cult leader. So I don't know the laws. Like, I don't know if that's like something that you can do, like temporary insanity or anything like that. However, if you get a jury trial and you get one badass attorney, that person is walking. And that's going to be a waste of money. It's going to be a waste of taxpayer dollars when you already knew how that type of outcome would have came, because they were under the spell of a cult and people that, they were brainwashed, and people that are on a jury looking at that are going to give them that.
I get what you're saying. I'm just not the person that believes in that shit. Like I get what you're saying 100%.
I'm just saying
I
there's a lot of factors that come into play when it's just like, it ain't, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Let me just go ahead and give this cult follower immunity to testify against the cult leader.
So that's what I mean in my mind. Because I know what you're saying, and that's 100% true. But in my mind, this is what I would do. I will give you a blanket statement, just like record producers do. I'll give you a blanket statement about, hey, you're going to earn this and this and this and this, and I ain't never going to allow you to read the fine print. And that fine print is, if I can prove behind a shadow of a doubt that you knew what you had to do and you did it, you're going to jail or you're getting probation. Right. This is what I'm gonna have with this, because you have to sign it. Can't just be immune. You have to sign for that. You niggas don't read nothing. And when I say niggas, I mean everybody in general. Y'all don't read nothing no more. You know why people in T-Mobile hate me? Because I'm there for 2 hours reading that fucking terms and agreement. Like, yeah, you can just sign it and we can just we can load your Google account up. No, hold on. Because I read, if it say anything like you can use my shit, no. No. Because I've been taught to read, or I've been taught to just copy all that shit and send it through ChatGPT.
Yeah. Tell me what this says in 3 sentences.
Exactly. What does this mean? Break it down to me like I'm 5.
Right.
So, but most people don't do that, and that's what I would have did to them. Just because it's like, Nature Boy is definitely wrong for everything that he did.
Yeah.
A lot of those men and a lot of those women, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the women were victims. A lot of those women knew exactly what they were doing, and they were agreeing to everything that were happening. Mm-hmm. Now you're acting like, oh, I was bamboozled and misled and brainwashed. A lot of y'all were G for that shit, because it made y'all feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, let's just call it being what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all knew. A lot of y'all knew what was going on. A lot of y'all agreed to what was going on.
Yeah.
So, man, you're not, because when you don't hold people accountable like that, like I said, everybody, you want to think, Nature Boy's a snake, Nature Boy's a worm. And when you just cut off the head of a worm, another worm grows.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that is a great place to end the Nature Boy conversation. So yeah, I don't have any final thoughts. So Jerry's final thoughts. Take it away.
Cool. I will make this short and sweet with the Jerry's final thoughts. Check this out. For every action, there's a reaction, family. And it's always going to be something that happens to you. What you need to understand is my reaction ain't got to be what you expect it to be. I know Lindsay has said this before, but I will make this 100% abundantly clear. If you do something to somebody because you think it's funny or you think you're trying to get some get back, if that person decides to dig all the way into the 7 layers of purgatory, they ain't wrong. Because you forgot who you was playing with 100% of the time. I'm not saying anything has happened to me recently, but I've seen some things that happen to people. And they had told me, oh, it wasn't right that they did this, or it wasn't right that they did that. You can't tell nobody how to react to certain things. That person's going to react how they're supposed to react because it's their nature. You forgot what their nature was. Never underestimate somebody, and always expect people to be people. And as always, take care of yourself and others.
Right. And thank you for Jerry's final thoughts. So, yes, this was episode 199 of the Issue Talk, and we will see you guys for episode 200. Bye.
Exactly.